Let's
I think you mean
do
all systems go.
all systems go.
Yeah. All systems go.
Okay, let's do some world building, guys. We did talk
Woo!
about this a little bit before. Um, but there's a few questions that Luke, the guy that wrote Burning Wheel, has to go through when you're building a world, just to give you like a good starting point. So I have those on the Roll20, and we'll just go through those and kind of discuss each one as we go. So the big picture is that there's this magic school in the early Renaissance period, I think is what we decided. And what's going on in this setting that makes it ripe for adventure is that some mishap happened at the school and the headmaster's gone missing. Do you guys have anything else to add to that?
We discussed sort of he'd gone missing because of some stray magic. Is that set in stone? Have we decided that's final? Like, someone did magic and cast and some creature came or something like that?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I'm like, what? I want more drama somehow. It seems kind of benign that the headmaster would go missing.
What if people are just going missing and the headmaster's the latest person to go missing?
Like he's the first important one.
Yeah, it's like it's been a few students and it's been like, oh, what's happening? And then the headmaster went and we were like, oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's got more potential.
Yeah.
I think the thing is, like, I'm worried it's going to turn into like a murder mystery sort of thing, which isn't always my jam, but
I guess, are we wanting to... We said we wanted to try to stay within the city for the most part for this campaign. Is that right?
At least for the first arc.
Okay.
What if instead of avoiding a murder mystery, Sean, like the headmaster went missing and now there's a new headmaster and he's very different than the old one? And so that's causing like some drama. Like maybe she's like, oh, we're not practicing this type of magic anymore. Or something along those lines.
Yeah, I'm wondering, or what if we just broaden the scope like a little bit? Like, what if the headmaster's gone missing, students are going missing, and then at the same time, like, the city is, for some reason, either a faction's, like, rising to power, or someone's just trying to displace the power of the mages, or kind of the magic school, and so, like, there's also this outside pressure that's like, you don't belong here, or, like, you need to be downsized. So it's like we've lost the person in the lead, and there's also random people going missing, which makes us look bad. And then if maybe also people from the city are missing, but then at the same time you've got this political level of like, maybe not the status quo, because I feel like the status quo would be like, yeah, sure, the school has been here for a while, or it could be new, and then that could be the problem too, maybe, but. If it's been here a while, like maybe another faction is trying to be like, no, get rid of them. I mean, you can do the classic like religion versus
like an uppity private school is opening up in another neighborhood.
The arcane, yeah, or like I mean, it could be just another new school. Like that could be interesting too. Like another magic school is showing up, and then suddenly people start disappearing.
I was gonna jump in and say basically. I don't even remember what I was going to say, but that.
Yeah, that could be fun. I was thinking, magic school, or maybe you could do, like, craftsman kind of want, because, it's like magic. Well, that lets you, maybe the craft guilds are kind of pissed off, too, at all the magic users who get away with all this stuff.
It's like, you have magic, it's super easy.
All right, Aragon throwback.
I know.
Yeah.
Class warfare-ish.
Yeah, I think that would be nice, just because it gives you another dimension, and then there is a little bit of mystery. Like, can we still find the headmaster? Is the headmaster dead? But then you've also got to deal with this other faction, and then you also have to maybe play politics a little bit and be like, oh no, we've damage control, like everything's fine.
Ooh, I
People
have
go
one.
missing all the time.
So there was some type of magical disaster. People started going missing, not just in the school, but outside. Headmaster also went missing. And now whoever's the ruler of the city's like, what's happening? I'm going to shut your school down unless you fix it.
Mm-hmm. I could be down
OSHA's
for
gonna
that.
come in and give you an
Yeah.
offer.
Yeah, but some of these disappearances happen outside the walls, so it's also the EA.
Yeah, that is true.
I really like the idea of this being, because we talked about this as, like, it's not Hogwarts. It's not our first, we're not 11 through 17.
No.
I like the idea of this being like, hey, this is a magical place, but also research happens here.
Right.
Like faculty and students.
And I guess instead of like the ruler, it can be like a council, and that can bring in like those craftsmen that you were talking about, Sean. Like, they've been pushing for this for a while, and now that this has happened, they're like taking the lead on
they
that.
have leverage,
Yeah.
Right.
And the headmaster was our representative on the council, and he's not there anymore.
Right, yeah. Pretty much. What was I thinking? Do we know it's like a magical event? That's what I'm thinking. Like, what if these people literally just fell off the face of the planet? Like, it could be magical. It seems most likely that it's magical.
Yeah, but we have no idea.
Yeah,
But we
people are
don't actually
blaming
know.
us.
It could be there's some shadow organization that's just like secretly pulling the strings for everything. And they've got, enough kind of underground clout to make this happen. Or it could be, like John was saying, like a research experiment gone horribly wrong. Could be a creature suddenly has shown up.
I think the vaguer we are with the causes behind any of that, the slower of a start we're going to have.
Oh, true.
Yeah. But I feel like that's fine. Like, I don't think our characters should be, like, leading the charge from a get-go. And, like, if these characters, or if these people are just disappearing without a trace, and we don't have anything that we know, I feel like that's a more interesting start, rather than, like, there's some creature running around, go kill it, or something else is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Yeah.
Because then instead of saying research does happen, like, your character can do research to figure it out.
Yeah, to help try and figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. So we've got that, and then we're thinking like the political council is now trying to kind of like is putting a lot of pressure on the school, like potentially trying to get rid of the school, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want like a third party, like we mentioned earlier, like a school or?
I don't think there should be a rival school. I think it should just be like ours.
You don't want this to be a High School Musical, but...
No, I do not.
Okay, because that was going to be a pretty serious character concept of mine, was basketballer singer.
Great. I'll be Sharpay.
Oh, it's so fitting.
Cool. Yeah, I think that sounds good.
Okay, then... So... do we want it to be like a Florentine-style city then, I guess? That seems to be the gist.
Yeah.
If we're gonna have a council, craftspeople and merchant council, basically have a doge, or like a kind of council elected ruler, I guess.
I like the idea of the council being called the Diet, just because I like that word.
The Diet, not the diet.
No, the Diet.
Cool, and I think that kind of goes into the next question, too, just about the world's culture and what are the cultural analogs. So I think that's good.
Yeah, because we talked about it being mostly human-centric. and we want this to be kind of a flourishing age of growth.
Yeah.
So I guess in a lot of cultural trade, it would make sense if it was a big trade city.
Yeah.
And if it's got a major magical school, it's got to be one of the bigger cities.
Do we want to be like a major school, or like does every city-state around here have its own magical school with like its own history? And there's
That's a good question.
I feel like we should be at the very least a bigger school.
Yeah, I mean, if we're like the Florentine school, then like we don't really care about the Genoese school. Like they're piddly.
Sure.
I just like the idea of being able to pull in more people from different cultures, but I guess it doesn't have to be.
Or at least having other resources. But yeah, if we go back to like what percentage of the population has or can use the gifted life path, then we adjust the schooling.
Yeah, I think that was the thing. I think we talked about having gifted still being relatively rare.
Yeah.
So then, at which point there wouldn't be that many schools. I mean, there might be one in each major capital,
Right.
I guess.
Maybe
but,
there's like high school level magic schools, and then you guys.
But we're the university.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay.
I hate that. I just flashed to like magical High School Musical.
I still think that was a solid idea. I'm looking to start a campaign with that. Or we could have something that's sort of like there are community colleges and then there are four-year universities, and we're at a well-to-do four-year university for that.
Yeah.
Maybe we just say we're the only school around.
For like 50 miles. And then the rest of the details don't matter.
Yeah.
So that's true.
I mean, 50 miles is not that far.
Yeah, what's 50 miles to a magic user?
Wow. Well, yeah, but when you first start off, you're not a magic user at that.
I mean, maybe you when you first started off.
Okay, all right. I heard your character hasn't even graduated yet. At what age?
Well, yeah, I kind of like the idea of people might not even know necessarily or take advantage of themselves being gifted right away, and then eventually they could be found and brought to the school potentially.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
okay, so
the school is kind of a privilege. Like, it's not like every gifted person is scouted out. We're not, Professor X, like, Cerebro,
what if, like,
whatever it is, finding every mutant.
I feel like we're talking about like Star Wars Expanded Universe post Return of the Jedi.
No idea. Okay. What if like there's a big ceremony like every year where they bring in all the people that have been like found to be gifted,
and you have to take an
maybe
exam, and only like 10% of people pass.
You have to take it in front of the entire student body.
Strongly dislike.
John, you yourself don't have to do this.
I know, I still don't like it.
Okay, we're getting distracted.
Yeah, that's okay.
I think for all intents and purposes, we are the biggest, most important magical center within the near area. There might be visitors, visiting professors or whatever,
right?
People doing research who come over, but like it's not like there's a constant cultural trade between magic universities. Yeah, I guess it could grow. Oh yeah, and so I guess more. Do we want to expand the world more than just like Florentine?
I think for the first arc, it should be pretty narrow.
Yeah. There is a question farther down the line. We can just skip around, but it's what's the name of a faraway place that folks talk about, dream about, or mutter under their breath about. So this could be like across the sea. What is there?
Right. Yeah, because I feel like people knew other if we're a major port town, everyone's gonna know that they're faraway places. So we have to at least flush them out a little bit. I feel like.
Yeah.
Because people from faraway places probably live in the city,
right?
Or they visit constantly.
Yeah.
Due to all the trade we're talking about. So I mean, I guess it depends how based in regular history we want to be. Like, do we want Arabic, East Asian?
And we want them to be humans, right? There's not like all the other races are mythological.
Yeah.
So it's not
Yeah.
like elves are across the sea. You can just,
No.
Right. We just never visit them, and they
just
don't
a
visit
hop,
us.
skip, and a jump away, those elves.
Right. Yeah.
They're
Humans.
hidden, they're lost somehow.
Yeah. Otherwise, in
Mm,
terms of places, I feel like, I don't know, like analogous to having very different cultures. Because Sean, you mentioned like so Arabic or that was the only one I picked up on. Having
like
something that's
China, Silk Road.
yeah,
Yeah.
something significantly different. I think is good. And it doesn't necessarily have to make we don't have to make huge investments into designing those.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it a better place there, or are you guys like the Hoppin' civilization?
I think it's very different. Like, what
I
if
would
their
say-
their only magic is like purely divine magic?
Okay.
And so, like, from our perspective, it's just like, oh, they limit themselves to divine magic, and from their perspective, we're just these people that don't even know what they're doing and just try and practice magic on their own.
So I
Yeah.
guess if we world builded this at our school is one of the best just ever, then we could phrase it as different cultures have historically been better at different types
Mm-hmm.
of magic, and so this school is multicultural just because that's what we had to do to be the best.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we might just be the best from like our perspective, but like other cultures have like the best school.
Right. Yeah, I think talking about, is the other place better or worse? I think at the moment, we think we are
The
like
best.
basically the hottest shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's no one better than us. There might be people that are like the same, We trade with them. They're worth it. They're worth trading with. They do have some stuff that we don't. But like, I mean, we're still obviously the
Mhm.
top of the top,
Yeah.
the cream of the crop over here. So, so yeah. So I think people, if you're well-to-do in the city, or middle to, if you're surviving, it's fine. Maybe if you're struggling, you think about moving to this faraway place because grass is always greener on the other side. But
Mhm.
but otherwise, I think it's okay. And I guess we're not at war,
Right.
and I think the city is very disinclined for military action
Uh-huh.
because
Yeah.
it gets in the way of trading. But of course, classic, we have to have a good navy. All about them ships.
Yeah, I was gonna say not strong militaristically, but keeping that avenue open for potential future art.
Yeah, it could create an interesting conflict. What happens when you're not militarily focused and then suddenly war is at your doorstep.
Mhm. If the city was to go to war, is the magic school like one of it? Is the magic school's responsibility to provide people to send to the war front?
No.
I don't think so.
Purely academic.
Well, yes, and I was gonna say once you become a magic user, you're gonna be fairly well off if you wanted to sell your services, and so I imagine this as being like a super self-sustained in terms of funding.
Mm-hmm.
Strong endowment.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's I don't think the school's specifically required to send soldiers, but it's fairly common, and I'm sure members of the court go to school there to learn it. Soldiers
Mm-hmm.
come who have the ability to learn have been taught here, and eventually apply it as a military weapon. But yeah, and I think that's kind of maybe an interesting cultural difference we could play with too. We talked about the faraway place being more spiritually oriented for their magic. this is, I guess we get a little Age of Enlightenment, like we view magic as a science. And so that's kind of a new thing, maybe, that started happening. And that's part of why we're different and we're the best.
Very elitist.
I know, yeah. But that's just what we think, of course, you know.
Right, yeah.
It's not to be a prime, you know, an actual value judgment. But that's the values that the college holds. And that's their approach.
Yeah. And then you can throw in a little bit of ability, thinking that they're better at it, and that works.
What questions did we skip? I think we've answered
A lot of them.
a lot of them. We answered
The
what the
conflict
was.
Yeah.
The sides are the political council and then the magic school.
Yeah, I was wondering, do we want to flesh out the political council a bit more? You know, how many... Or do we want to leave that up to maybe you, Abby?
We can, if you want.
Trying to think. I mean, you'd have aristocracy, guildsmen, magic
Some
school...
merchants. Maybe like a priest or two.
Yeah, merchants, priests.
And then the headmaster.
Yeah, as part of the magic school. So aristocracy, merchants. I guess merchants would be traders. That's like same. Oh, and like a military general, maybe.
Yeah.
So
An
it's like,
admiral.
what?
We use boats, not
admiral.
people.
Wow. So we would have someone from the Navy, but also someone in charge of city defense in general.
Yeah, like a city
I think those
guard
would be the same.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, true.
I mean, are they on the council, or do they just take direction from the council?
That's a good
advisor to them.
question. Yeah, it almost feels like maybe they should be an advisor. But then the question is, so is there going to be a council, but then also like an elected leader? Or should it all just be a council?
I think it should be a council, and they just vote on things. That way, like, you can have the merchants and the guildsmen, like, leveraging their power, even though they're not...
represented.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
And just so when they're coming for a school, there's not one person that can be like, no.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I was going to say, I mean, the leader would obviously be able to be overruled by the council.
Right.
But, you know, when dealing with foreign nations, do we have one elected, or is there a head council member, maybe? What if the headmaster was the head council member?
Ooh.
Oh,
And
Oh, God.
So, one, we need a new headmaster. Two, the council needs to decide on a new head councilman.
Uh-huh.
And
Ooh, this is
three,
good.
Yeah.
factions within the council want to oust the magic school entirely, basically. Like, they might want to
Yeah.
keep us around for monetary purposes and kind of for prestige, maybe, but they want to severely control them, like, knock down, like, 20 pegs.
And I imagine our headmaster, like, what if she's been the council leader for, like, a long time, and now the craftsmen are just, like, getting real annoyed with that, and when she goes missing, it's now, like, their opportunity to, like, both politically push us down, but also, like, we did something bad for the city, and they want to get rid of us.
Right. Well, yeah, they have an excuse now. And then I think it would be interesting, too, underneath that, if we had, like, I like the idea of, like, a shadow organization, you know, what's the black market dealings, who's the underground?
Yeah, you see the last question on this questionnaire.
Oh, what's the black... Yeah, I did, I saw it earlier.
Also, I feel like we should have another conflict, like, within the school of, like, who's going to be the next headmaster. Like,
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I think there's going to be that, and then there's also going to be, I don't know, there's going to be a lot of that on the council, which, like, someone mentioned it, but I feel like that's something that's going to be very much on their, like, taking up a lot more of their attention than just kicking us out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because they can do
Yeah,
that when they are in charge of the council.
right. Well, and I guess that's the thing, like, I mean, the school knows they need a headmaster and the new one's not gonna become the head council member.
Right.
Or
Obviously,
maybe, maybe that's like it's traditionally been that way. Like, and not like written, but it's just happened to work out that way.
I think that option would make our city like very magically inclined then.
Yeah.
And I feel like we were going for more of a merchant thing, but I mean that would be a way to create tension.
Mm-hmm. Well, so are we saying the...
We can't hear you, John.
Yeah, you cut out.
Oh,
You got
joy,
muted.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Are we saying the school predates the city or vice versa?
Definitely vice versa, right?
The
That's what
city
I thought.
predates the school.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in that case, I don't think it's weird to go along with Logan's idea of, since the school was started, it just happened to be that.
Oh.
Or we
yeah,
can
and
just
they like want to
say-
go back.
Like, the headmaster has been, like, maybe she's been living for, like, 200 years or some stupid amount of
Yeah.
time. And, like, the guild's people are like, wow, we're real upset that she's artificially extending
Just
her life,
die.
and she still gets to be in charge.
The headmaster is like a 16 life path person.
Yeah, like, she's
I love it.
ancient.
I love it. And this is why we're also like desperate to find her too, because she's
Yeah.
so powerful
It's
and
like,
like
if something
so
took
valuable.
her out,
You're
we're
just
all
like,
screwed.
you're like, there's no way she could have died.
Like,
because death
hopefully
can't
she's
even-
on vacation and she forgot to update her calendar, and we're all just...
Yeah. On that note, I imagine, like, at the start of the campaign, maybe the council doesn't know that the headmaster's gone missing, and, like, the school's trying to cover it up, and they're, like, sending somebody in her stead and, like,
Yes.
keeping it
Oh,
on the
she's
down low.
She's just sick.
it.
She's
Yeah,
taking some
exactly.
personal days.
Yeah, she's finally having an
sabbatical.
illness.
Like, she's 100. She's 152. Cut her some slack, okay?
Oh yes, that's so perfect. Yeah. And then I guess maybe let's think about the factions within the school, because I really like that too. Like, you know, who's potentially vying for the next spot? You know, who was the elected stand-in? You know, is there a certain protege maybe that the headmaster was grooming?
I'd imagine yes. I mean, she had a long time to do this, so.
Right.
So she's kind of already got like a second who's more or less ready to take the role.
Yeah, but they're definitely not as liked as her.
Right, but then that's the question, like, would everyone just accept that? Or, you know, is there a reason that person's not favored necessarily as much, even though for some reason, maybe a lot of people are like, why did the headmaster, you know, normally all of her judgment is so sound, and then
What if she,
suddenly...
like, picked her daughter or something? Like, it was,
Ooh.
like,
I like
real
that idea.
nepotistic, and that lady's not at all qualified to follow in her
Yeah,
mother's
yeah,
footsteps.
Or even if she were, people just not liking, I was going to say, stepping back from her having a protege, in the first place, we could have something where it's like a struggle between the person who's been there the longest and the person who's, I guess, bringing in the most research money or equivalent, and the person who's
Research money.
most well liked amongst the students or something. Like, they can all be strong candidates, just in different ways, and that's how you could generate some tension.
Right. Yeah, I guess it depends, you know, and then do we want people who are just kind of like evil? You know? Like
Yes,
people who
of
just are
course.
bad?
Or, I mean, if we were... So we've talked about doing art magic. We haven't... So my understanding of that is it could still be broken down into classes, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so we could do it in terms of, like, sub-schools, their heads are competing for this position now.
Yeah.
That's a lot. I think there's
9 different art magics. And
Oh,
you combine
jeez.
3 of them to make a school.
There's 10, I think.
I think there's 9.
No, I wrote them all down.
If you
Maybe
find it,
you
put it
missed one.
for me.
Or maybe you added one.
There's hinder, reduce in ability, advantage, increase in ability, arcane knowledge lets you know things, obviously. Destroy with sorcerous fire is directly harming. Illusion, confuse or deceive. Sorcerous weapon, which lets you conjure a weapon.
That's an entire school.
Yeah. Evoke, which is like physically affecting the world around you, kind of. Arcane action is another physical one, basically. Trait lets you take traits from people and give them to people. And then transforms lets you change yourself or another person into an animal, technically, I think. But we could make that more.
Oh, yeah, there
Yeah.
are 10. So that's a lot of schools.
Those are
Yeah, so that's like 10 leaders, which, I mean, like, isn't a problem. It's just a lot for us to keep track of.
Yeah.
So those are the effects, but when I read the schools part,
You choose three
Three
of
of
the
those.
effects and then combine them into a school.
So
So,
there's
and then we would have like 3 or 4 people, which might be more, which would be more manageable.
yeah,
So if we had one, yeah, you could have one person who's, doing 3. But then also, that doesn't include enchanting, summoning, or spirit binding.
Right.
right.
Or
Which
necromancy.
are those? I'd imagine that summoning and
Or blood
spirit
magic.
binding is not taught at the school.
Summoning probably not allowed, yeah.
Yeah.
So summoning's not gonna...
Summoning-
It might be like a graduate degree level program with like 3 students.
Or maybe they're like just starting to research it or something.
Yeah. The weird thing, like mechanically, the weird thing about summoning is you don't have to have the summoning skill to try to summon something.
Also,
You don't have
it
to be
always
gifted.
fails.
Yeah, and it always fails, and it's really bad.
That's so you can just have random people decide they want to summon a demon, and then they can see how it goes.
Yeah, I think they have to like successfully do a cercination test or something, which is what prevents demons from just popping up everywhere.
Yeah, but I feel like definitely enchanting there'd probably be a pretty well researched since we're in like a
Oh,
crafts
yeah. Yeah, for
trade
sure.
city. So enchanting's probably pretty well researched or well known, well established.
I feel like enchanting would probably be like the most powerful subsection of the school. Like
because
maybe
of the merchant focus.
yeah, like the leader of that one's like the assistant headmaster, and they've just presumed that they were going to take over this whole time.
Right. I like that.
Do we still want to do the nepotism like daughter thing?
Yeah. Or like maybe they don't think they're going to take over. They just are like, I want someone that I can control to be the headmaster.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, lots of good ideas. I think that's kind of up to you. No, they really are, but I think that's kind of up to you, Abby, like
Yeah.
how you want to play that necessarily.
Taking lots of good notes, and I'm gonna mash
Right.
it all together.
Right. Yeah, pretty much.
So let's talk about magic types, and then we can walk through kind of like what the different schools of magic are at the school.
Okay.
Because we have faith, yeah.
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 Ooh, yeah. How do we want to do faith? That's a whole question. We can hold off on that. Sorry.
No, we can talk about it now if you want.
I feel like the culture just views faith and sorcery as 2 very different things, like not at all related.
Yeah.
What would be the religions for faith? Is there?
Yeah.
There's just God. He's just.
I was gonna say I don't want a monotheistic one for some reason.
Oh.
It just feels very boring to me. Cabbage, go away.
Yeah.
He's
He's been exiled.
been exiled. Even though they
I mean,
kind of
I
build
don't-
it around that.
I don't really care about the religion aspect, so if someone's like, my character is going to do something with it, like, full power to them.
If nobody cares, I can just do something too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We
don't
could
because
adopt like the Greek gods or something. I know a lot about
that could
them.
be fun.
Perfect. If
Fun.
you know about it,
Do it. Because I was gonna say I don't care either way. I like the idea of people just being like, um, not generally atheistic, but a significant portion of them viewing religion and magic as basically the same thing. Like, you say some words or do some gestures and something big happens, and that's just weird.
or maybe like it's almost like a class distinction. Like in general, the priests tend to help the poor more. So like they perform minor miracles for the peasantry, and the lower, they're doing all the good deeds.
so
Meanwhile,
they're
the
budget
mages are just
magic.
like, yeah, the mages are just in their castle. Like,
I love it.
It's your,
perfect.
it's not my problem.
So the priests are probably especially angry with the sorcerers right now because all these people are getting hurt or going missing or whatever's happening.
And
when-
like
Yeah.
all good disasters, it disproportionately affects the poor.
Right. Yes, of course.
So then the faithful are having to clean up this whole mess, and from their
Mhm.
perspective, the sorcerers are just like staying in their castle and like not doing anything about it.
Yeah, and we're just like, what are these weirdo magicians doing with their tricks out there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think it's like, it's not that the priests and the mages are exactly... It's not like they've been active antagonists, but the relationship has always been strained.
Yeah.
Like, they just view themselves in very separate spheres, and now this problem has kind of, brought them into conflict, potentially. More so than they maybe used to be.
Yeah. And then is faith universal, or does it only affect believers? And it sounds like it only affects believers. Like can just anybody pray to the gods and get something to happen?
I'm inclined to say no, but I don't feel strongly either way.
I feel like there are some of the deities who would be like, yeah, sure, and some of them who are like, no, like, it's the first I've ever heard from you. But I don't know if that's easily done mechanically.
Yeah, I feel like the priests, the faithful capital F within the system who are like actively affecting the world through their faith, like they can affect anyone because the gods are real. We see it through these works. But yeah, I don't think just anyone would be able to pray, and otherwise what's the point? Then the peasants would be able to help themselves.
Right. Yeah.
So maybe every now and then, like one person, or extenuating circumstances, you kind of get something happening, but
I feel like everyone has the potential, but you have to be like a super devout, like true believer before anything can happen.
And then
So,
you
like,
get
there've been
snapped up and become a priest.
So there have been like saints that have risen out of the poor and like been
right.
able to do these great things, but just
Yeah.
like Mary Lou that goes to church every Sunday can't do anything.
And then you maybe kind of we were talking about like what is the believers versus like the kind of an atheistic view, and it's like once again kind of a class difference. The peasantry are more effective. They can't afford to take this sort of atheistic view. Like the priests are helping them, and they need their help. So they're paying their tithes. They're doing all that stuff, and then that could be interesting too. Like within the city at large, like what if a peasant revolt against the major?
Jeez. Oh no. Okay.
Session 1,
Good.
peasants show up with fork.
Burn them with sorcerous fire. Yeah, I think that sounds good.
Cool. So we're using art magic instead of sorcery. So that's great. What's the idiom for sorcery? Do you have to do gestures or speech? And if is the speech like in the common tongue, or is it like the Latin version?
It's Latin.
It's like worse than Latin.
Yeah, it's like ancient Hebrew if we were in Florence.
Aramaic.
You
Love that.
have to study it. Like,
Um,
can you do both? Like, can you have gestures and speech? But like,
I was thinking
for
it would depend on the
different-
individual.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like-
yeah, that's cool.
I kind of like that.
You know,
Ooh,
every-
yeah.
Person develops their own style of.
What if gestures are like? I feel like one should be the very common one, and like good people, or like people who are really good at magic can do the other one.
Mm-hmm.
And so like they have sort of like they don't look down on it, but it's like, oh, you use gestures. Like I can do that by just saying something.
Or like, so you need a focus to start off with. Graduate away from.
Not even like most people don't graduate from using gestures.
Or what if most people have to use both? You know,
Yeah.
what if, and then to be able to use only one is kind of a signifier of greater power, or greater control, I guess. You know.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, that's good. What else do we have? Character stocks. We're just doing mannish or humans.
Mm-hmm.
So, real quick.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have art magic,
Uh-huh.
summoning,
Oh yeah,
tentatively.
summoning I think does exist.
Yeah. It's just not taught at the school
Right.
because
So a
it's
character could know it, but.
Yeah.
And then spirit binding,
absolutely.
Yes, for sure.
because Logan really wants a spirit binder, and then enchanting, of course,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
we talked about.
Then
Okay,
do we
cool.
want death art and blood magic?
Not really.
I think they could exist, but they're like super occult. People either don't know about it or know that it's super taboo,
Hmm.
or they do it and they are taboo people.
The big
Right.
thing
Yeah.
about, I mean, death art is like your typical necromancy, right? You can like
Mhm.
animate corpses and stuff, and I think that
Yeah.
makes enough sense if people can do that. The weird thing about blood magic is like you have to ask yourself, does the magic system even care about like torture? Like, does human suffering affect magic in that way, or is it more of a inside of you personal thing where?
I want to say yes, include it, just because I want there to be like a sick house where some like weirdo's running it, just like feeding his power off of all of these sick
God.
people. Just like we're never gonna run into him, but I want him to.
I like include, or at least I like not saying no to things. That
Uh-huh.
way they're or potential future arcs.
Right. Yeah. I think maybe it does exist, but the school doesn't agree with it.
For sure.
Like-
we
for sure.
don't recognize it. We're like,
Well, we
no.
don't even know about it really.
Yeah, the school is like, no, it all depends on yourself. But then like other cultures are like, yeah, totally, it totally works.
We do it all the time. Very cool, very legal. It works.
Sometimes you just need a little torture. Yeah, I think that. I think having it in there. I guess I just don't want them to become. I'm not very interested in something super dark, so
Yeah.
I don't want it to be kind of overbearing on the sort of atmosphere of the game.
Hmm.
Okay.
No crazy scenes of torture.
Okay.
Preferably
I
not.
mean, we have that mature restriction at the front of the
That's
stream,
true.
so
You did. I was
Sean, you
thinking-
accepted that.
Sorry,
You accepted that when you started when you opened your Twitch stream.
I did. I thought it was all about the XXX stuff. Not...
well, you signed up for the wrong stream. It's actually just torture.
Really just for the cursing, not for the actual content.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Cultural traits, we can talk about that if you guys want, or I can choose some character traits for some cultures once I kind of form them up better and just let you guys know.
I feel like you should do that so
Yeah.
we don't game it.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I want to see what restrictions you put on us. Being like, well, everyone has bulbous noses, so
Well, and then that's the thing. Do we want, when we're developing the characters, I guess we have to think, do we want them who's going to be from the city, who might be from somewhere else.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we can tackle
Everybody's
that a
just
little
a
later.
little fat.
Just a little.
We have the money to be fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
true.
could take this off with some magic, but I don't want to because I don't need to.
Well, and also if all of us are just a little bit fat, there's no standard or metric.
None of us heard what you said.
Am I coming in now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh, hilarious. What I said was I don't remember.
It's okay.
I think
It's
you
fine.
said something like, if everybody's a little bit fat, then what's the standard for a little bit fat?
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Good. Yeah. So, I mean, really, we're all just average at that point.
Yeah, that's true.
True. This is true.
Resource cycle. So basically, once in game a certain amount of time happens, you have to do a resource check to maintain whatever worldly possessions you own. I'm thinking probably seasonal makes sense.
Or like semesters.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
thinking like
that.
every 6 months. Yeah, I was thinking divide it in twos for some reason.
Mhm.
Especially because we're in a city, seasonal doesn't quite make sense to me
Okay.
Yeah, because we don't
because
farm
we
in the
don't
city.
really care about the seasons as much.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely like the tax collectors come around,
Every
Yeah.
6
or
months.
whatever.
I like
Or, yeah,
it
because it's a
aligning
school,
with the semesters. Yeah, that's
It's like a
That's really fun.
semester-based thing.
Oh my gosh, can we do our first year and we can on a match together?
I heard every third word.
God,
I'm just gonna tell you when none of us have any idea. What you're saying.
that's good. I need one of you to do that. I had said, can we do our first year and then have a magical internship together?
Oh, that sounds cool.
I just won't be able to
Um,
pay for school, so you'll see me for the first semester, and then I'll just drop out.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's a question, how is the school funded? Is it... I guess there's got to be...
The
Research
enchanting
grants?
section of it makes all the money, which is why they're so powerful.
Yeah.
Oh, that would make sense.
Yeah, that does.
But then, I mean, students also have to pay, of course.
Mhm.
But
then,
is there
like I
private
said-
funding?
Well, yeah, that's what I brought a strong endowment, and I honestly
Right.
think that could be a source of funding for the school.
Well, if it's like you have to pay tuition, or you can like do service for the school.
Yeah, I feel
Like
like
it-
there has to be some type of, scholarship-based thing. Or, like, you could have a sponsor, maybe.
Mhm.
Because I don't think everyone, it's not like all the teachers or researchers stay in the school all the time. They go out in the field. So, it's possible, a village, someone somehow hears something about a child in a village who's suddenly casting fireballs.
Mhm.
Or,
Wow, village won't be there for very long.
or they're wandering around and they notice something. So they can almost like take someone in as a mentor potentially if they don't have the means.
hmm
Yeah. Okay. Just wanted to get on the same page about that, in case anyone's really poor.
It'll probably happen.
Probably.
Yeah. The game world's currency, I'm assuming we'll just use like gold or something like that. Similar.
Yeah.
What florins? Obviously.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Tax collectors just come around. They're hired by the
Council.
Council?
The
Yeah.
Diet.
Diet? Is that really what we're gonna call it?
That's what I'm gonna call it until it sticks.
All right. Classic Logan tactic.
What do most people in the city, like non-magical, non-priests, what do they usually do for work? Are they laborers or craftsmen?
I feel like we have a very strong shipping industry, so like a lot of people are like, I work at the docks.
Yeah.
I just sail. Like, or I don't
Right.
sail, but like I row the boat. I'm one of like 500 people that rows this boat.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, merchants, traders. So that that involves sailors. A lot of people gone. Lots of, I guess, what is it? Is it itinerant or something? They're here and then they're not here, in and out. Then craftsmen, like we talked about, because we have to have export goods.
Yeah.
There could be nearby mines or forest and farming.
Right, and then the question is, if there's this huge shipping industry, like what is getting exported? What are the...
Right.
I like the idea of, like, we don't really make much. Like, we just buy stuff and then sell it to other people.
We're like the intermediary. Like, if you
Yeah.
want to sell, we know we can make more money selling this to somewhere far away. So, it's
I think we do have some craftspeople, and, like, they're a big part of the city, but, like,
Raw
I would say
goods
most
wise,
of the money,
you're not...
Yeah.
No, yeah, I don't think we're really exporting raw goods in any way.
No.
Right. Yeah, and it could even be that we have the crafts, like, to make the goods that we need, so we are not really importing or exporting anything ourselves. Like, we make everything that we need.
I like the idea of we export, like, culture, though. Like, this is, like, where all the plays and all the art is done. Because there's just so much money that it's just being thrown at stuff.
So
we're
like just
Florence.
Athens.
Or Florence. I'd say more Florence. Like Catherine de Medici's running around.
Huh. Mm-hmm.
Bankers everywhere.
There has to be bankers.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking, like, do we control trade routes? And then, if so, how? Is there kind of like a subtle edge to our control? Like, you should pay us for using this strait, but, and if you don't,
I feel like it's just
something
like
might
we
happen.
have the most boats. So we can sell the most stuff.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I feel like
we're
that matches
like,
more.
you see that forest out there? Get rid of it. We need boats. And now we don't have any more forests.
I'm okay with that. I like there's still kind of graphic edge that we have, like just being centrally located. Yeah, Sean brought up being in the middle of a strait that you have to go through to get from anywhere to anywhere, just something.
I mean, yeah. I don't.
Yeah, like Constantinople, like, you're gonna go right by the city to connect two entire seas. And then that also brings in, if there's other cultures trading along it, it's like the sailors have to get off. They have to buy food. They have to, they're going to buy trinkets. They're going to get whores. They're going to do all sorts of stuff.
That's a good point. Which, I mean, yeah, no, that's a good point. I was going to say maybe that means that we should have food as one of our primary production pieces, but
that could be kind of cool. We're known for our culinary.
We are just really good at creating very storable foods. So
we're really heavy on the salt.
Or because we're so known for enchanting, we've developed like a way to enchant food to be preserved.
Ooh, I do like that.
That's a pretty
and that's
solid...
like unique. Like, we're the only place that knows how to do it, and it is a viciously guarded secret.
I love it.
That's great.
And
also,
the city and the merchants pay the school. And that's why there's this conflict on the council.
The headmaster's the one who came up with that enchantment, which is why she was so powerful and why she was made the leader of the thing.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'm a fan. I like it.
Also,
Preservation magic.
talking about horrors, what if we had prostitutes? What if there was like a leader of the prostitutes on the council?
I love that. I love it.
Yeah.
Like,
I love it
100%.
It's still a very liberal city.
No, like, no one likes her. Or him, whoever. Well,
I like her.
I think the aristocracy doesn't.
Oh, yeah, no.
The priests may not be fans, but
No.
The ones who probably use them the most, right?
it's just they're a powerful force.
They were awarded a seat way far in the past, and they just have not been able to. No one's been able to wrangle it away from them yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like,
They're- Oh man, unlikely ally in the prostitutes of the city.
I like it.
I love it.
I do too.
Cool. I think is there any questions we missed? I think we hit most of them.
I mean, do we want to flesh out the black market stuff more? Or
Oh yeah, black market.
we could keep it a surprise and make you do it though.
That's true.
Hmm.
Do you want there to be a black market?
I don't have a
I
preference.
don't know. I guess now it doesn't feel like it fits as much. I just
Yeah, I agree.
always like the idea of like a shadow. Order.
Well, you can have that in the prostitute guild.
Yes.
Yeah, that could be. Well, yeah, they've got a public face and then a private face.
It's like, oh, I want to trade this illegal good. Let me just buy a prostitute and like pretend that's the front, and then I sell the goods to her, and she takes them off.
Mm-hmm. But then, should they have a place on the council necessarily? Then
Oh yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
still,
100%.
but they just deny everything. They're just
Yep.
like,
Oh yeah, they're
I don't
like,
know
we're
what you're
just
talking about."
prostitutes. That's all we do.
Or maybe, yeah, prostitutes. You know, what do we want? Different levels, like the courtesan sort of.
I'm a 5th level prostitute.
Uh, oh well, the question, not important.
I guess
Cool.
the last question, what is the name of this city?
Oof.
Don't ask me that. I take like an hour to name anything.
Oh jeez, don't ask Sean that. Sean already needs to come up with his character name for 4 hours from now.
I play a new game and I have to come up with a character name, and boy, it takes me a long time.
Did you just Google city names?
I might have.
Bad thing.
Ooh, Glicko.
Nope. Vetoed.
Um, all of these are bad. Wrecked.
Yes.
We'll think on it. We'll think on it.
I was gonna say we might have to come up with that later.
Yeah.
I can't. I won't be able to do it on short notice.
Stay tuned
I'll
for that
leave it.
name.
Did we want to flesh out the aristocracy more, maybe?
Sure.
Or what's like old money versus nouveau rich versus.
Is there like a noble court? And is that who the aristocrats are?
That's also what I'm wondering. Like, was it originally ruled by a king, maybe, and then they got misplaced by the council?
Yeah.
And then so there's just of course aristocrats never really like anyone, but like they're especially just like all of these fuckers.
Like it was just the king's advisory council, and then when he died, and like the son came to power,
They're like, no.
they're like, no, we're in charge actually now.
Yeah, or they're just, oh no, there was no legitimate heir allowed.
It's like,
just
oh
actually
shucks,
advocate
we're in
that.
charge now.
Yeah.
Right, and they just had so much power the aristocracy could not do anything.
Yeah.
And then that would be a good conflict too, because then like the aristocracy really wants this head council member position, because they might just try and switch it back to a monarchy again.
Yeah.
Okay.
So okay, how long ago was this? Was
Right.
like the headmaster one of the first like rulers of the council?
I think that
Or
might
has
be
it-
too soon.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree.
So
So
maybe like
maybe 300 years ago,
300 years. Okay.
or well, because she's like freaking. How
Yeah.
old is she?
Maybe she's not the first, but she's been it for like half of the amount of time.
Right. Yeah, no,
and
I
then
don't
there
think
were
she
other
was
like
the
5 other
first
people
council.
before.
Yeah.
Right,
But they're
right.
not important. No one even remembers who they were.
Yeah, it went through a couple, and it was like cycling like normal, and then suddenly a the
She's
headmaster got
like,
in there,
well,
and she
you
was
made the
like,
mistake of electing an immortal being.
"There's a reason I came." What is...
Mostly just fell at you.
It's because I have my fan on. My room is so hot. Yeah, it was their mistake. How could they know though? Really?
I mean, she was
It
already
happens
like
to the best of us.
102 when she was elected.
Yeah, that's why they got her. They were like, "Oh, she's gonna die."
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Second.
Perfect.
Yeah, I like it.
And then she
She's like hunched
pulled off her
over.
mask, and she was a teenage girl.
Right. She was really just doing illusion magic the whole time to make it look like she was aging.
I love it.
Let it drop, and suddenly she was 40 again.
I love it. Let's make one of her traits be that she has to constantly cranking.
Constantly be what?
Cranking. Like,
Oh, pranking like Yoda. So she's Yoda.
So maybe
Sure,
she
sure.
disappeared and everybody's like, oh, it's just a big prank.
it's just a joke. Yeah.
She'll be back.
Oh.
And then the council, and then the school sends in like a temporary replacement,
Right.
and then the council's like, "What?
Yeah.
That's not right. That's not prank material."
Right.
Yeah.
I like it.
And that's when everything starts going wrong.
Hmm.
Cool. Well, unless
So-
there's anything else you guys want to flesh out, we can start doing characters, which is the most fun.
Oh gosh.
Oh boy.
Characters, woo! Yeah, we should probably get going on that.
So you each have a character sheet I dropped in here for you. You should be able to open it up, and it should already be on character sheet and then the character burner tab.
Oh boy. Okay.
Well, it
Yes.
always starts on bio and info, but
Yeah. I'm now looking at character burner.
Perfect.
Oh, it just says recommended life path 4. Does that mean I can actually take 16?
No.
Sad.
wait.
Okay.
What?
Um,
Character burner. Okay.
Yeah, so Roll20 is really nice for this, actually, because you don't have to do any of the math yourself. It does it for you.
Oh.
Um,
It sounded like you said meth instead of maths.
No, math.
Really, that was a downside.
Hmm.
So if you all have character concepts and want to run them by each other to make sure that they mesh, that would be
Yeah, I
the time.
think. Yeah.
I'll go
So,
last.
Logan, are you really attached to a specific one?
No.
Okay.
I have 2. Very
yeah.
different.
Let's hear him.
One of them is like this groundskeeper that has not gone to the school. Like, they might have gifted, but they are not trained. They couldn't afford to go. No one wanted them as a mentee. And so they've just become the groundskeeper, and they, like, spirit bind on the side.
It's a little illegal spirit binding.
You have
But
to have
I
a
imagine-
permit for spirit
yeah.
binding, and he doesn't
And
have
I do not. But I'd imagine they'd, like, have somebody that they would want. Or, like, the headmaster was keeping them around. Like, maybe they were pals at one point. So now that she's gone, they're like, oh no, am I going to be replaced? So they're, like, trying to get someone that they like to be the headmaster. With the very little amount of power that they have, like, almost 0.
My question is, are they being paid? Like, how would they have been groundskeeper and not learned anything?
Mhm.
'Cause they're not allowed to take the classes. They're the groundskeeper.
But they're making money, right, at the school?
Oh, no, almost certainly not.
It's just
It was like, someone was
It's
like,
just
hey,
like-
do you want to come to the school? And they were like, yes, I do. And they're like, great, I have a great gig for you. Sign this contract. Don't read it.
Okay.
But if he's best friends with the current headmaster, I find it hard.
Not best friends. It's more like, oh, I'm going to take pity on you because no one wants
Yeah.
you to be their mentee.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
a student.
Okay, tell us about this student, Logan.
Well, they go to a school with a roof and
Yes.
some walls.
Uh-huh.
And they
so is-
study magic
Okay.
and
This is...
they...
I love it when Logan is super intentionally vague. Because
So they were
also
gonna
just
be
bad at it.
just like a basic mage student.
Well, okay, I was talking to Abby, and I had the idea this student, like, was the one who accidentally started causing people to go missing, but they don't know. But that sounds wild, and I don't want to do it.
Okay.
That would be intense. Someone would probably want to kill you.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Uh,
It doesn't someone want to kill every good character?
That's true.
Always.
Real.
What are your ideas, John or Sean?
Knows when.
Oh man, I have so many.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, go, John.
I love it. I love
I only have two, really. Maybe a third or a fourth as backup. Okay, so, I like the idea of being like a craftsman turned enchanter. So kind of, born in the city, maybe grew up learning a trade, learning blacksmithing, just skills, and didn't really know they were gifted, and then suddenly like things started happening to the stuff they were making, and someone realized that they could enchant, or like they had the beginnings of kind of enchantment happening, almost like they talk about imbuing. So it's like the things he was making were being like imbued, sort of nascently, and then he started going to the school to learn school. To learn
school.
stuff and things.
How does he pay for it?
Well, he's a craftsman, so he can make money.
Mm-hmm.
Is he a quality craftsman?
Sounds like it.
Considering one of the traits of being a journeyman, which is what you basically need, is made man, which means you know how to make money more or less.
Nice.
Yes. The only thing is, without the free gifted trait, it kind of makes things a little more complicated, but I could figure it out. Then the other one, which I also really like, is to be an augur, but I would only have 3 life paths, so I would be a little weaker, technically.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea was she was like a peasant who got kind of outcast and then maybe found by someone who was interested in mentoring or in the field. They heard about this crazy like witch girl in the forest, and took her, saw her, met her, and took her back. And she's just very angry.
What? Where did that come from?
Like she's been like abandoned by her family, by her village. She comes to this city where people have all this money, and there's all these magic users, and it's like an okay thing, and she just does not like it at all. She's very, very angsty and angry. Yeah. So I could do either. I mean, the witch would be fun, but unfortunately for augur, you can only have 3 life paths. So I would be.
You have to stop at 3?
Yes, unless we bend the rules.
Weird.
Yeah, it says
What
a
a
limit.
strange restriction.
Yeah, otherwise I would change her. I would make her go from augur to crazy witch because she doesn't want
That
that.
makes sense.
But yeah, for some reason, augur they say there's a limit. But we can change whatever we want.
Yeah,
I'm game for
Which
changing
life
things
path
up.
is that in? Oh, wait. Okay.
Augur
Mhm.
is under peasant or whatever it is. Yeah, peasant.
I mean, okay, you can go into it. So what I feel like this is saying is like it has to be your second or your third, and then
That's what-
afterwards you can keep going.
I thought too.
But you can't like come back to augur.
But
I
if
can't be like
you-
headmaster to augur.
Right. Yep. But if you look at it, it says
It has no more than 3 life paths total.
literally, yeah, it has no more than 3
Which is different
total.
than...
Total.
Which one?
So I guess okay, like you're not completely wrong because that's originally how I read it too. So I guess it depends on what you consider. Do they mean in that moment or do they mean like for your whole character?
Mm-hmm.
Which like I said, if we like to bend the rules, I have a whole character drawn up. So I'm totally game. I would love to play that. And she would kind of be like a seer, because of the whole augur thing, which I think would be really fun. And I was even thinking of doing something with like tarot cards, could be kind of cool, which were actually made during this time period we talked about. Other than that,
I'm fine with. I mean, I'm fine with that being like your third, and then taking a fourth from there. I think that's okay.
As long as that one's my third.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or your second, or your
Right.
like a second or third.
Cool. That'd be awesome. Is everyone else okay with that?
I'm fine with it. Actually, let me look at it again. But
I also like that it makes you unlock astrology, because astrology is the best.
I love astrology.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use it all the time. The only problem with this life path is I have no money,
Great.
which I hate. But
Your two characters very different in that sense.
Yeah.
Oh, I had see, when you were still giving us gifted for free, I also had an idea for a knight who was gifted and didn't realize it, or like just ignored it. And then at the end, his family was like, "You need to figure out how to deal with this."
Yeah.
So he's like a full noble-born knight who's suddenly like being sent to school, and he's like, "I do not like this at all."
Oh. Okay.
Do any of your characters want to be at the school?
I think the witch like does, but she's like too little, too late. Like if I had been here 10 years ago, sure, this would have been great. But like,
Or she's like, I want the school to be in the woods where I'm from.
She doesn't have a problem with the location. She just thinks it's like, this is not actually helping real people. I was a real person, and I was hurt by this situation. By my magic, by having my magic, and then stuff.
So in the wizard burner in the codex, the gifted child born life path can replace everything except born noble.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Right.
So my knight one doesn't work because it can't replace born noble.
Yeah.
Right.
Could you go from like page in the village to squire in the
I think you can. I think you can, because I was starting to go through that kind of the geometry of how to get to a knight last night, gifted child.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a way to do it. I just haven't figured it out. Or I haven't looked at it. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it depends, John, do you still think you want to be like the engineer? In which case I don't want to, like encroach on that by also being the enchanter.
So I have 7 very high in the sky ideas.
That's
So one of them was like the engineer one that I mentioned. So that's pretty close to your craftsman turned enchanter. Though I would have to look up exactly what Renaissance engineers typically dealt with aside from walls.
They were some hardcore stuff.
I think that was Da Vinci.
I mean, they made tanks. Yeah, Da Vinci made tanks. He tried to make wings. They built giant domes.
Yeah, that's true. So I mean, like, that's possible. A knight was another one of my ideas. Although it wasn't I don't want to be here. It was kind of like this will give me an edge because I've never really been that good of a knight. And similar to Sean, I had a diviner in mind. I wasn't sure what school of magic that would fall under, though, so I was kind of like, whatever.
There isn't really a school for it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was like, okay, maybe illusion, maybe trait or something.
Right.
But just as the idea of, like, sometimes her things actually come true, and people start catching on to that, and they're like, whoa, it's gifted. I had mentioned a physician previously, but then the 3 that I'm really leaning toward right now, actually, a singer who...
Bard?
I guess, kind of. Who just sort of realizes that their singing is magical. A person of faith who then has to kind of make this difficult decision between faith and magic.
I like that a lot, too.
I think that would be really interesting. I haven't gone through them. Then the other one that I really like the idea of a sailor who
Mm.
had a knack for it, and it turns out it was not just a knack.
Pull that straight out of the Dragon Prince.
That. Oh, you know what?
Out of the what?
Okay, you know what? Every cool character has been taken. It is 2019. We have too many movies and too many TV shows. I'm not ashamed.
That's okay. No, the Dragon Prince is so good.
It's so
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
It's so
Yeah.
10 out of 10 would recommend. Well, okay, 7 out of 10, but
I don't love the animation style.
It's
like
not
the
great.
CGI.
But the story is good, so I stick with it.
yeah, we're giving them like free advertising. Right?
To nobody, so it's okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
I thought, well, Sean was listing off his infinite amount of characters.
It was
He had
two.
more. John had more.
I had far more. At least I
What?
told about more.
What if I played the headmaster's daughter or child?
Oh no.
Okay, but this is after we decided no nepotism, right?
No, the nepotism.
Yeah, no, I don't want to do that. Never mind.
I was gonna say, I think that puts you in almost too powerful a position. If you bought somehow a relationship with her, yes.
Hmm.
But I
Bye,
don't know.
mother.
Playing directly as, sure, yeah. You're
Or
the bastard son.
I am. I am the child that nobody knows about of the prostitute leader on the thing, and she's had me infiltrate the school.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. So.
Or
so
the
you're-
groundskeeper. I don't have it.
I'm just trying to figure out what your life path will.
I come up with the concept and then build the life path to it.
Oh, sure, yeah, absolutely. Interesting.
Yeah, now I can't decide. The other thing is, once again, if we have to fight anyone,
Mm-hmm.
Just take
Yeah.
the story with Sorcerer's Fire and you'll be
it
fine.
would be worth having at least one character that knows maybe like brawling at the very least.
Prostitution's a form of brawling.
I was hearing
Sure.
basically this sailor would be a good asset in that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine with going that route. That'll be interesting. Wait, how much are we doing voices? Because I don't think I can do that seriously.
It's up to you, I guess.
Yeah, I
don't
think
know.
it's up to you.
Yeah, but if you guys are doing it, I'm gonna do it.
I feel like you've got to have at least an affection, like to your voice, like some sort of thing to show that you're not just you talking.
Perfect.
Whatever
Like
that may
every
be.
time you cast a spell, I expect you to speak ancient Aramaic.
I think I'm gonna have like a like a Scandinavian-esque accent, and then I will be speaking ancient Norse.
All right. So, instead of talking, just cast some runes onto.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a sailor, you're not gonna be saying stuff like, you're not gonna be using all the big words or whatever. So
Just actually be a pirate.
Ugh.
don't.
There's a whole life path setting for you, John.
There is.
Just
There
don't
is.
even be a student at the school. Just be someone entirely unrelated.
Yeah, the Merchants Guild or the people who do the trading.
Yeah, I mean, you don't
We're gonna
have to.
We're gonna have the pirates take over. I hate that. I'm not even sold on Sailor anymore. I don't know. Are either of you two leaning anyway? Abby, do you have?
No? Whatever you want.
Abby, I need you to push me in a direction.
I'm really kind of taken with my witch,
Yeah, do her.
my witch
Yes,
augur.
She sounds great.
Because I think she's very she doesn't care about the power structure in the city at all. So I think she's like adding
She'll be a
more.
refreshing break from all of that.
She's like more tinder to the fire. She's like, well, I don't care who's headmaster. Like, I mean, I'm here as a gift, but I could leave. I had to survive on my own. So she doesn't, she has personal stakes, but she doesn't actually care about the city or the politics at all. So I think that could make her an interesting and volatile character in the situation.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So I think that's what I'm gonna do, and she's gonna be pretty magic focused, magic and supplementary skills. She's not. I mean, sure, she might be able to do some combat stuff, but she's definitely not gonna be brawling with the best of them.
Yeah.
What if so let's say I played the groundskeeper, and then your character doesn't really like she sort of rejects the societal structures of the school, so she sees me as like an actual person, like really refreshing. And then she like tries to teach me what she learns. Like,
I'm like a little
friend.
underground coven.
No, she's just like, oh, you want to learn magic? Like, I also understand. I wanted to be able to learn magic, but no one taught me.
Yeah.
Let me
like
try
that.
and teach you. And I'm like, wow, great. I also spirit mind on the side.
Which I think I can take, but I did not. No, I can't. I can get summoning though.
Ooh.
I don't.
That's a great idea.
Bad idea.
That's a good way to cause a lot of problems.
Real fast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, I think Logan, it's pretty easy for us to have characters that know each other. I think the big one is just John, kind of what you're leaning towards. I mean, I think having an enchanter would be really cool of some kind, just because it makes a lot of sense for this setting. But also, the singer sounds cool.
Yeah. So I'm looking.
But then
through,
you
like,
have to sing.
That's true.
I'll do
For
it.
us.
I'll do it. It'll be in Italian. Because why not?
Or the knight could be fun too.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. I came to the table with too many ideas and not enough narrowing down. But I'm looking at life paths.
Yeah,
Get
it's
this figured
difficult.
out.
Do we want to take a break to give everyone just
Yeah,
a second
that
to?
Yeah.
Watch this.
Oh, breaked on Twitch.
Break time.
It's break time.
Are we actually on break?
Yeah. I think so.
I mean, I guess Twitch hasn't caught up yet, so. Oh, yeah.
I haven't been using it, so I don't know.
Perfect.
All right. Do we want a 5-minute break? 10-minute break?
I'm fine with either.
Yeah, whatever.
Do 10.
I was like, Logan's gonna want to.
Come back at the 55.
Okay.
55 is the goal. All right.
Got it.
Abby, I need help coming up with a character. I thought about also being like the child of the enchanter,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. Also, Cabbage, go away.
I do kind of like the idea of like the child of the prostitution guild that's like spying on the magic school.
Okay. I do enjoy that.
Yeah.
That's a
It's
pretty good
nice because then you'll have like, if everybody's not like 100% on the same side, that'll be interesting.
Also, are you here, John?
I'm on mic.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I'd be off camera anyway because I'm looking at life paths to fix stuff. Yeah, because I keep getting distracted when I look at life paths. I'm like, oh, this one it applies to what I'm looking for currently, and then I see right next to it something that is for a different character concept, and I'm like, oh, let's follow this right now.
The life paths are really fun to just read through.
They really are, and I tried to take some time yesterday to go through them so that I this easily distracted.
So right after I take Born Gifted or like Gifted Child, I can immediately leave.
Yeah.
I'll probably do that.
And it can it can start in any of them except for Born Noble.
Yeah. Where are the Manish life paths? Why am I not seeing them?
163.
Yeah.
They come after Elvish? That's weird.
Mm-hmm. So the weird thing is that you can stack engineer, which is strange to me.
Ah, I'm gonna take Ganymede.
I thought you had mentioned one.
Oh my goodness, you have to take fashion wise. Amazing.
I'll be your coal man. I have a hacking cough. But I have to
You should just be Connor.
I just read that one.
It's so perfect.
It's scary how accurate it is. I don't like
Yeah,
it.
it's really scary.
Oh, I was like, why is prostitute not a life? Probably an outcast.
Oh, I'm sure it's an outcast. Yeah, it is. Prostitute. It doesn't have any requirements.
What is a whoremonger? Is that a pimp?
I hope so. Please be a pimp, Logan.
It kind of sounds like a pimp based
Yeah,
on...
this is not, like a fishmonger is someone who sells fish, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Whoremonger definition is a customer of a prostitute.
Oh!
Be both. Support businesses. I mean, especially if you're her son, you just grew up with it, so it's totally normal to you.
No, I see them as people.
You should
John.
just be a desperate killer.
No, that's what my other character was.
Oh no!
We get 3 or 4 life paths.
Yeah.
4 total, which includes Born.
Also, were you here when it was decided that I'm the child of the prostitute leader?
Did we're going with that? 100%?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I like it. I was thinking actually the prostitutes and the mages probably do have an unlikely alliance
Mm-hmm.
because it's
I've
like the
been
council
thinking-
doesn't want either of them to really
Right.
have power. So they're kind
I
of
was
like
thinking, like, I personally, like, helped my mom enchant her customers, which is why she's, like, the best prostitute.
are you going to be an enchanter then or
I haven't looked. Like, what's
Okay.
the enchanting of people? Like, what's that one called?
there isn't really I can't remember. Let me look. I guess it could be like hinder or advantage, illusion.
Or
You
you
could
could
give a
do
trait.
trait and then just make people horny.
This is true.
Also, I'm eating this off-brand Pop-Tart. My face is getting itchy. I feel like I might be allergic.
Oh no!
Is it cinnamon?
No, it's
Okay.
cookies and cream.
Oh, jeez.
Ooh.
Mistakes were made. Okay, so wait. Remind me one more time. It's if we're choosing the gifted born life path, we only get 3 additional, right?
You only get 3 additional with the born, regardless of what born life
Born
path
counts
you choose.
as a
Perfect.
life path.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
It makes us in our like late 20s usually.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Those it's kind of ridiculous. Some of the life paths are like 2 years, and then others are like 8.
Yeah.
What do you get from being kid? Like, why would you ever take kid?
I think it's like a fast life path, so it kind of that's what it's good for.
Maybe you just want to be a kid.
But it's like, why would you, like, I feel like it's always a waste of a life path. Unless you're like, oh yeah, I have to take 7 life paths, I don't want to be that old.
Unless,
Maybe
yeah, you
maybe you want to
increase
be a
the
bad
life
egg.
path limit.
What does bad egg mean?
Means you're just not a good,
You're just a bad
Person.
egg.
you're just a bad egg.
Yeah, but does it have any effect in game?
I don't think so.
And,
Seems more like a character trait.
yeah, for sure.
What was I thinking? Oh, some people don't make, some people might not make min-max characters or
Yeah,
anything.
right.
Or depending on your campaign, you could all be barkeeps or something.
Yeah.
Okay, I do need to start figuring stuff out. I know the character burn is really good in Roll20, but there is also a really good one that I found online.
I think I've seen the one you're talking about. It is good.
Is it the first one that comes up when you Google
Mm.
the
Is it
Burning
called
Wheel character
Charred or
burn?
Card?
Uh-huh.
It's Charred, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chard, like the vegetable?
No,
Yeah.
which is pronounced car. I think card.
No, it's charred.
I've heard it.
Is it
charred.
Chard.
Never mind. I don't know.
Wait, how do you? Okay,
I don't think
how
I've
is
ever
this?
eaten it.
Charburner.
It's literally charred. Charred.
Oh, charred, not charred. Okay.
Not chard, which is the veggie.
Yeah. Also, what is gold white wielder? Can someone just?
It
answer
was
that for me,
the had to do with lepers or something.
The
Also,
what?
but this one doesn't have the. This doesn't have the wizard
It doesn't have the wizard stuff.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
But it's like useful for me and maybe John.
Mm.
Unless John, you're gonna do Born Gifted.
Are you
I think
not
I
doing Born Gifted?
Yeah. I thought the point was.
No,
To
I don't
be
need
Born
to be
Gifted.
Born Gifted. I get Augur,
Right. Right.
Oh yeah. Blah.
as well as Crazy Witch.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Literally, one of my traits has to be a little crazy.
Perfect.
And then my Augur trait is Disturbed.
Amazing. Okay, I am going to turn the stream back on.
Okay.
Okay. We're back. Hey. That's all. We had we had some
With much
decisions over
fanfare.
break, so that's exciting.
Like to.
Okay.
I love the idea of fitting in a period.
Yes.
Sure.
What a beautiful life path. It's just too long.
Okay, for anyone watching during the break, it was decided that I'm the child of the lead prostitute in town.
Are you a prostitute yourself, though?
No, I'm not. But it's
Why
heavily
not?
implied that I'm a prostitute.
Officially, you aren't.
It's like if I was a character in a show. Like, you would never see it and they would never say it, but be intense fan fiction about it.
Oh God, we're already getting into fan fiction. Guys, I've changed my mind. I want to be an elf.
Get out.
We would boot you.
I would actually be on board with that. Not booting you, but you being an elf.
After this, we should do, we should make a campaign where we're all elves, so
All
we can
elf
just
campaign.
be ridiculously OP.
And also very sad.
And so
What a
sad.
sad campaign. The giant conflict is something happy happened. No, something just a little more sad than usual happened, and half died out of sadness.
Perfect.
Amazing.
Okay, so I'm taking Gifted Child, 9 years, 4 resources. I can't type in the resource button. Never mind, I had number lock off.
Oh. Okay, so I think I found a.
Where do you... Oh, there you write your traits way down here. Okay.
That'd be so.
Gifted child. Oh, you're misunderstood.
Yeah, of course. Like, people are always misunderstanding me when I...
Required, you can just check this little box.
Oh. Wow. Oh, thank you for checking that box for me.
Yeah, no problem.
Abused. Oh, jeez. Spirit familiar. Does that mean I am a spirit familiar?
No, that means
To my
you
No,
get
mother?
a
you
spirit
have
familiar.
one, which is pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
That is the only thing that really sells Gifted Child, but the 4 resources is like terrible.
Yeah, it's awful.
Okay.
And it's
Yeah.
only like 2 general skill points. I was like, oh, okay.
Not everyone's min-maxing their character, Sean.
I'm not min-maxing. I just want more opportunity to do more
Uh-huh.
things.
Yep, sounds like you're minimizing your maximums.
All right, sure. Be that as it may, I'm unrepentant.
Am I... This is a question for the group. Am I my mother's biological child, or did she, like, adopt me off the street?
I kind of like adopted almost.
Yeah, I almost prefer that.
So
Which
I
could be
will-
more interesting because then it's like, do you want to potentially find out your real parents, or will they come and claim you once
Yeah.
you rise to fame?
My real mother was the headmaster.
Who knows? Maybe she had to hide an illegitimate child. Though I mean, she is the headmaster, so I guess she can do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
the head councilman.
my adopted mother's the headmaster, if you know what she means.
I hate that.
Do you think Ditch Digger really fits with my...
No.
Absolutely, take it.
Amazing.
Okay, I got so caught up because I found that it required professional soldier setting, and you can be an engineer under the professional soldier setting. So it was this really weird life path that I wanted to look at, and I've lost it. So that's cool.
Has anyone found something for like undercover person?
Oh, I think, yeah.
Like spy? Is there
there is a
spy?
Where is
Under
it?
Outcast, there might be.
See, I don't see it under Outcast.
Otherwise, you could do like courtesan.
You could
But then
also
again, they're
do,
not really in
do
alphabetical
posse.
order, so I have no.
I found some Reddit. He sent that. It's cool.
I know there's a spy. I don't know where it is. Maybe it's in here.
It might be in the codex.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Yes, it is under.
Death Cult.
It's on page 407. Yeah.
What?
Oh, Death Cult.
Oh
You
boy.
have, you have to have cultist or
Oh.
insurrectionist.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
Ugh.
I think
Death
you can like
Cult.
imitate a spy probably through a different path,
Mm-hmm.
depending on the spy type of spy you want to be.
What is insurrectionist? What the heck? Maybe I'm just an insurrectionist. Where's that one? Why are they not in alphabetical order? Luke, formal complaint.
Insurrectionist is in the Burning Wheel book. And it's on
Under
page 195.
195. Perfect. Thank you.
The
I don't
skill
wanna
options
be-
are philosophy, rule of law, doctrine, oratory, and arson. So that's cool.
Arson. Nice.
No, I don't want philosophy and zealot. Big no. What does the cultist get me?
Cult doctrine and zealot.
I don't want to be a zealot. Why is that so hard? Servant of the Dark Blood setting.
That sounds wholesome.
But I really want... I guess I can just take... Wait. Remind me,
You could be a
when character
blackmailer.
burning, can I take any trait? I have to pay more for it, but I could take any trait, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
How
as
much
long as you
does
get
it
the money.
cost?
As much as it says in the book.
Oh. Oh, yeah. I know how to do this. I've done this before. It doesn't have a price. Wait.
That means you can't have it.
No, wait. Oh, jeez. It's a character. Characters all cost one,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you could be a blackmailer.
Who am I blackmailing?
I don't know.
People on the council.
One of the teachers
Mm-hmm.
goes to see
You
the
get
prostitutes.
extortion, which is pretty good.
Cold-hearted.
I don't
It only
imagine
takes
I'm
3 years to be a blackmailer, too.
It's pretty quick.
It is.
okay.
And in the same setting, you can be a prostitute.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to be. I'm taking the life path prostitute. Outright. But I don't think my character is going to be a prostitute.
They used to be a prostitute.
Okay.
No, they grew up around prostitutes.
Gotcha. You could be a rat catcher.
No, I don't want diseased. Big no.
What?
So what, you're taking crazed witch and augur?
Yeah, currently I'm looking at born peasant. Then I'm thinking farmer for the first path, then augur, then outcast into crazy witch. Though I guess I could move augur and crazy witch up and then fit something else in there.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have like 0 money. Oh god.
I love farmer because the skill that you have to learn is farming.
And I have to take hoarding, which I kind of like.
Oh, hoarding.
Never mind, I'm gonna have so much money. Ganymede gives you a 15.
Whoa.
Cabbage, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'll probably do farmer. Gives you a bunch of fun.
You're gonna be a farmer?
To start, originally. And then they
And then what
realized I
year?
was crazy.
One of your stray fireballs burnt down the crops?
Yeah, you never know. I mean, I probably wasn't casting. I saw visions. And then they were like, oh, she's spooky. Get rid of her.
I love it. Ugh.
She's just a little bit crazy. Get rid of her.
Just a little bit. Well, no, she became a little bit crazy after she was outcast.
Oh, I see.
She was disturbed. She became disturbed due to being an augur. Now, the real question is whether or not I want Cassandra or not. And people to listen to me.
Wait, okay, what does urchin give me? Addicted? I don't want to be addicted.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
What, addicted to what?
Whatever you want.
Pick your
A
poison.
drug, maybe.
Or everything.
Which one?
Everything. Just an
Why does
addictive
beggar
drug.
get more resources? That's my question.
I couldn't hear you over your outrage.
Yeah.
I said, why does beggar get more resources than urchin? Sounds like
Because
urchin has so much they don't even have to beg for, whereas a beggar has to turn to a life of begging.
I don't know.
Okay, I've decided. Well, this is the saddest life path if you're starting with gifted child. Gifted child, urchin.
I thought about it.
Gifted child, urchin, prostitute, Ganymede.
Stellar.
What a great life.
Okay, perfect.
We were doing like a court intrigue setting. I really wanted to be a courtesan with Ganymede as well. It's so ridiculously useful.
John, have you decided what you're going with?
I'm working through engineer, but I wind up with an extra life path, and so I'm trying to kind
Ooh.
of through this. Unless I want to take engineer twice, which I
Where
don't.
is engineer?
So there's a few different options, or a couple different options for engineer. Either 188 or 190.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna be so young.
Good.
Okay, so you can either be a seafaring engineer or an army engineer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, you could hop from engineer to engineer too. Interesting.
Like, chemical didn't quite work out, so he became civil.
Yeah, pretty much. One of them pays better. Oh,
Yeah.
everything really tracks out so far.
I also like the trait, it just might work.
I know. That's really one of the things that I like.
Sounds
But
pretty fun.
I'm pretty much leaning toward the professional soldier engineer. Because then you can either do something before your student phase or after student engineer. And so that's fun. It's great. So I'll do this for now.
I feel like leper is the only one I've seen that gives you. No, I guess being born a slave also gives you minus stat points.
Yeah.
I don't get any pluses to any of my stats.
Oh,
That's sad.
Unless Ganymede comes in. No, it does not. But who needs.
you're
I'm gonna be rich. It's fine.
if you're younger, you just have better stats.
That
so.
is true, yeah.
It's like they start declining after 18.
Jesus. It takes longer to become a prostitute. No, never mind. Let me rephrase. It takes the same amount of time to become a prostitute as it does for me to graduate college.
Yeah, there's a lot to learn, Logan.
John, you could jump from engineer to artisan.
I did see that, yeah.
Yeah, I
Which
was
is
gonna say
interesting.
artisan makes sense, in my opinion.
It does.
And then you're going to be the only character with any resources whatsoever.
You'll be so wealthy.
Wait, how much? How many
I'm gonna
resources?
ask
does
you
that-
for loans.
Artisan alone gets 45.
Oh my god!
That's
What
because
the
you need workshops though and tools.
Yeah.
So
That's
you have to pay
true.
for that stuff.
Yeah,
That's true.
you know what you need for prostitution? Your body. Okay.
Well, okay, so there's, yeah. So I haven't decided if that's what I want to.
I have to take conspicuous and inconspicuous.
Isn't that the best?
Amazing.
I don't even know what that means. I can't rationalize that. Yeah. What? But prostitute itself makes you take conspicuous and then also gives you the chance to take inconspicuous.
That makes sense.
You need them at different times.
Yeah.
It makes sense. It's not that you're one all the time.
I mean, maybe that's how you can play your character.
I mean, you can do whatever you want.
All I know is falsehood is definitely being taken. And the story. It's my
I
favorite.
don't know what the
My
story
favorite
is.
trait. It means like you always have the story. You're like,
Oh,
why were you here? Oh, I have that story.
Yeah.
But I have to be tolerant.
Gosh dang it. I hate it when I have to be done.
It's the worst.
Just the fact that you get 45 resource points. I thought it was rolling high with 15.
No. The craftspeople get a lot of money,
Yeah.
but they have to spend it, so.
Wait, I guess, wow. Perfect. I was like, can I even lead it to Ganymede? You certainly can. I just forgot to check what I want. Ugh. Jeez. Conspicuous and inconspicuous come on 3 of my life paths.
Whoa.
They really want me to have them.
They're not required on more than one,
Yeah.
though. Okay.
Yeah.
Because if that does happen, then you have to take the second one.
No, Ganymede makes me be fashion once.
So how do we feel about shade shifting?
Go for it. You do you. I guess I do a different form, but
I agree with you do you, but I feel like it's not a very good move.
No, I'm totally joking.
Okay.
I can't do it. I would die immediately.
wait, why? What's bad about shapeshifting?
Oh, you want like a
Shade.
G1 will?
Shade. Yeah. Not shape. Shade.
Oh. I was like, what's so bad about shapeshifting?
It would kill me immediately. What? Why do I feel like these are not right?
Okay. I'm 25 years old.
Nice.
Okay, so it already did my mental and physical pool for me.
Yeah, you can, if you do, you have to change
But it doesn't
them.
include your extra stats.
Well, I don't have any
It
of
does
those.
include your extra stats. It should.
It didn't for me.
Did you type them in?
It does drop 1 in will and 1 in perception already.
Oh wait, no, it definitely just did it for me.
Yeah.
Well, you have to have a base of 1 and 1. Oh, I
Yes,
see.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, so I actually have 6. So I have
Yes.
1 and 1 and then 4 left over.
Yep.
Okay. And then what do I just? Nope. How do I?
I think
I just-
humans max
read
It
out
that
at
doesn't
bit.
let you have 0.
right. Humans max out at 6, right? I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, totally. Like, I think that... Which I think is like...
Okay, run me down on will and perception. Will versus perception.
Perception is
social.
intelligence, and will is the other two. Wisdom
Perception,
and
yeah.
charisma.
And okay, what do most skills use? Will.
No,
Will
there's
is
no...
like, people will roll against your will if they're trying to convince you to do something. Perception
So
is
are
used
most-
for, like, all of the wises and other intelligence-based things.
I'll just make them both 3.
I
then.
don't know what sorcery is based in, but that would be important to know.
Sorcery's will. Yeah, and
Wow.
I think they recommend it's better to just have things be more even.
Yeah.
I have
And then
every
now-
one of my skills is 3, so can't get much more even. Oh wait, what the heck?
Sorcery is perception.
Okay, also it doesn't. You have to set your
Sorcery's
mental age.
perception?
Yeah.
Make sure you have to change your
Stock and your
Age.
age. You are
Yeah.
correct.
yeah. Okay, I did not do that.
Well, you shoulda.
Yeah, sorcery is perception, symbology is perception, I'm sure assassination is perception, so I bet all of the spell casting stuff is all based in perception. But then will is like
No. What?
spider husbandry is under will, so that's good to know.
That's if you're like an orc.
Yeah. Conspicuous and inconspicuous are both will.
Sorcery is perception.
Okay.
Oh, I should do that.
You know what? I think I actually am gonna double up engineer.
Yeah?
Yeah, why not? I guess. It'll be weird. He's just not gonna fit in anywhere.
Did you do the Born Gifted, John?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how you're gonna get magic.
Uh-huh. Yeah, the whole magic thing. That'll be something to figure. That's...
Be- Yeah, because
You're not
if you don't...
gonna have any magic skills, you're just gonna have gifted.
Yeah, I mean,
I know.
you can learn it,
I
but
hate
someone has
that.
to teach you
Yeah.
magic.
And it's not...
If only we were at a school.
I know, but it shouldn't be that easy just because
Yeah.
we're out of school.
Right. I don't know.
I mean, you could use your general skill points to do that.
Yeah, that's true. Gotta be
Or
some alternative.
you'd have to find a way to get a magic. Usually they require at least 2 life paths to get to something with like sorcery.
It's true. Well, okay. So, life.
You could also open sorcery with your general points.
Yeah.
Because you still roll sorcery for art magic, so you'll want to make sure you have that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think you can enchant either without. Well, you have to be gifted at least.
Yeah, I think you have to
And
be
then
gifted.
the other really annoying thing about enchanting is you have to create antecedents, which means you have to know alchemy or freaking whatever taxidermy.
Ooh.
For what?
Yeah.
Art magic?
No, for enchanting.
Enchanting.
But
I'll
it's
be
a little
honest, I
easier to
haven't
like
read
learn
enchanting.
something like alchemy. Alchemy's easier than sorcery.
Wait, okay, so when you have your skills, so I'm like looking at inconspicuous, the root is will, and I have it required, so does that mean I also have to click open?
Yes, and then when you click open, it'll take it says skill 13 now. You had
Yeah.
14 before.
Yes. And then so what is this over here? It says like final.
Yeah, so that's
If
your
you-
base skill currently, and then you can put
Okay.
advancement points in to raise that. But
And is it just
currently,
half of the root?
Yeah.
Okay. And then advantage raises it. And that also costs a skill point.
Yep.
Oh
Okay.
boy.
Total character redesign. Hear me out.
What?
Okay, alright, so we're gonna go see if I can find the first one. Neophyte Sorcerer, because that,
Ooh.
I guess... We'll get there. I like the idea of Weather Witch on a ship.
That's cool. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, Weather Witch is tempting. It's a cool concept.
Yeah.
Which could tie
And
into the
then it-
world nicely too. It's like we supply a lot of weather witches somehow or something. The school does.
Sure.
Our only export is weather witches.
Totally voluntary labor, though. They're getting paid. But in that case, I would need to start with either Fight Sorcerer, Arcane Devotee, Wizard. So, find me Arcane Devotee. Is that?
Do you think, okay, would you assume it's better to open as many skills as you can or put advantages into things?
It depends on what you're going for.
I think it's
The argument for opening a bunch of stuff is like, hey, I have a bunch of skills, but then there's also like 100 or what did we see? 300 skills in the whole thing. So you're never
Yeah.
you're going to use beginner's luck on rules.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I lean more towards it's better to have more stuff
Yeah.
because it's
I
easier
definitely
to
think
advance
you
it.
should open persuasion and falsehood because those are always good ones to have.
Yeah, I think you want to lean a little more towards opening new stuff, but you do want to advance, a couple things that feel like this is something your character has focused
And
on.
then-
Yeah.
Wises, so like, how do I get a wise? Like, if I'm like, I want to be prostitute wise,
Then you write that down
just
and you
make
open
it up.
it. Yeah.
and
Yep.
it just costs 1?
Yep.
Okay.
And wises are great because any time you roll against a prostitute, you'll get to fork that in.
Okay, but how often do you think I'm going to be rolling a prostitute? Probably fairly often. I'm going to stop gaming the system. I'm just going to
Just grab
prostitute
stuff you
wise.
think your character
Yeah, exactly.
would have.
And those are all wises are perception.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so aura reading is a thing, but I'm very confused. It's like you can have aura reading, but then you have to have a way to see auras.
This is
I
a
think
skill.
is what it says in the book. Yeah. And I'm like, what? How do you gain? Is that a trait? Is there a spell? I mean, I don't understand. I feel like if you have
It
aura
says
reading,
aura reading. This is the talent to read an aura and see within it to the present, the future, and past. Oh,
Sounds
this
pretty
skill does not grant the character's ability to see auras. You have to have a trait, prayer, or spell.
yeah, I just don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Let's see.
I
Is
want
there
it.
like a good trait for that? Like aura
I feel like I
reader.
haven't seen one. That or it's going to be ridiculously expensive.
How do we feel about the interpretation of man wise?
Meaning you know men?
Is it like I know like man-ish, or I'm just good with men?
You'd be good with men, I think.
Man-wise, yeah, makes me think of men. You understand men within the culture.
Yeah.
So does that mean I can fork that into anything that has to do with a man?
I think if you're yeah. Yes.
Can I also then just take woman wise?
No, I don't like that.
I feel like in the book it means man, because otherwise it'd be bonkers.
Yeah,
to
but
not.
it doesn't make sense for you to take that.
Right.
Because if an elf took it, yeah, sure, whatever. That's like human can take elf-wise or dwarf-wise. You know, it means you know that culture, but you were born into the mannish culture, so it seems a little ridiculous.
You could be elf-wise.
I don't want to be elf wise.
Very tempting.
I want to be mule wise.
Oh. I'm trying to find you an aura reading.
I would love it if you could find it. I haven't looked too closely, but because I think I might want to spend one of my general points getting that. It just seems appropriate. Because I'm also going to take the trait Touch of Ages, where you can learn stuff from objects.
Oh, cool.
Isn't that really bad? Is there a huge downside to that?
What do you mean?
No, that's Touch of the Devil,
Oh.
which comes right after that in the book.
I haven't read that one.
It's like if you get hurt, you die. Like you're so fragile. Like your touch can tell you anything, but if you touch something too hard, you just like disintegrate or something. It counts
Cool.
as 2 against your 3 superficial wounds before you're dead.
Have you Googled, like, Burning Wheel how to read auras?
I'll do it right now.
Okay, Abby, I'm going to describe something, and I want you to tell me what type you think it is.
Okay.
So I'm imagining, like, my mother has been, like, telling me all about, like, the political relationship between the school and herself and, like, the other people in the council from her perspective.
Yeah.
Such that, like, I can use that when I'm undercover.
Mm-hmm.
That was the end of the description.
What do you need? You need a life path or?
No, I need blank wise.
Oh,
Intrigue-wise?
infiltration-wise.
I like intrigue-wise.
Yeah, intrigue-wise.
That was a good
Or
one, Sean.
politics-wise.
Ooh, yeah.
Both. Intrigue-wise. I don't think politics, because she doesn't tell me all that much about, like, the politics. It's basically just like, this is what I need you to figure out. Or, like, go do this.
Yeah, I guess more intrigue-wise than...
Yeah, but I have opened it, so perfect.
I really don't think I'm trying to look up that aura reading thing. I really don't think there's a specific trait for it.
I mean,
What?
you can have an obscure aura, and tests to read your aura are made at double obstacle penalty. So there's got to be a way to do it. I just don't know.
I
what it
know!
is.
It's just ridiculous. I guess maybe there's a spell. And I mean, with art magic, it's easier for me to make a spell that would do that.
Yeah.
I guess. Even though it doesn't really match any of the schools necessarily. I don't know. But I think it would be something I would like.
You could also
can come
make
back to
up
it
your
later.
own trait. Like, that's a thing.
Yeah, I don't know if I have enough trait points for how much that would be worth. Sounds like it could be pretty powerful. And I think there's other stuff I want more.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I might just try and figure out a way to do it with spells.
Oh, the story is a call-on? That's awesome.
Oh, I don't actually know what that means.
It's a call-on for falsehood, so anytime you, like, if you fail a falsehood test, you can just re-roll all your dice.
That's
I
really good.
love it.
Really
Where
good.
did you get that from?
An urchin.
Call-on traits are awesome. You can use them once per session, but they're really cool. Ooh, second sight sounds like it would be... Where is it? Second sight. Can you read auras? Ooh. Yeah. It says second sight is one of the abilities that allows a character to use the aura reading skill. It costs 4, which is a lot.
Oh, it's so expensive.
Oh, wait, okay, I have a question.
Mhm.
So, when it lists out things, like, I have to take inconspicuous, and then it gives me streetwise and sleight of hand.
Yep.
Does it cost more for me to take something else that's not on a list?
You can only take stuff not on the list with your general points.
Does that include wises?
Yes.
So, like, if I have prostitute and intrigue wise, then both of my general skill points are gone.
Yes.
Oh my god! Well, that made that simpler. God. Let me just flip out of that section of the book.
Okay, so remind me, I could use general points to buy into sorcery. How much to buy into that?
Just one.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the route that I'm gonna have to go.
Traits are the ones that cost different, depending.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm gonna keep looking for other aura reading skills.
I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a spell, or I might use the trait school to give myself
yourself second sight, and then
Actually, no, that'd be so fucking expensive, bro. It's probably a huge obstacle, like an ob 5.
yeah, just give
I don't know.
yourself second sight for the whole campaign. It'll be like plus 5. It'll be fine.
Because I was thinking maybe eventually I could gain the trait by trying to do stuff with it.
I mean, when we do a trait vote, that could happen.
Right. So that's what I'm thinking I might try and aim for. I've just got to decide if I want to spend the point to get aura reading now and just have it not necessarily always
Or
be
try
useful.
to open it later. Yeah.
Yeah, though I was thinking aura reading might match up with Touch of Ages, but I need to relook at what
Touch of Ages.
Touch of Ages entails.
This trait allows the character to read objects through her touch. A successful perception test will give impressions present in the objects strong emotion, arcana, and even age.
But maybe I could fork in aura reading, I guess.
Yeah.
Right, okay, and then so the traits, if I'm required to take it, I just pay the cost. But if it's not on my list and I want to take it, I have to pay double the price?
You have to pay the price in the book.
Oh. Well then,
So
okay.
character traits are always one, but if you
Yeah.
want a special trait, it's going to cost more.
Oh, and so like all the ones you get from Life Pass are character traits?
No, but they
Oh.
all cost one. So like the story would normally cost like 4 or something stupid.
Yeah, but I get it for 1?
Yes.
Okay. Even though I'm not required to take it. Like,
Yep.
it's just on the list of things I can take.
Yep.
Okay.
All of them on your list of things you can take are always 1.
Okay.
So many skills
There's
for general
so many.
points. And then wises are just ridiculous because they can be anything.
Yeah. That's the only aura reading skill I found.
What?
The second sight.
Oh, the only trait, yeah. The only thing that... Yeah.
Oh my god. Traits are so expensive.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
Just wait until buying resources. That's always fun. Well, y'all have money. I don't. Okay, I'm keep getting distracted and I need to focus.
Okay, so it's the first skill and trait of each life
Yep.
path that. Okay.
Oh my god, quick-witted is so expensive.
John,
That's 'cause
I'm
it's
gonna
really
add
good.
lead time to each of these.
Oh, thank you, Abby.
Yeah. Because you're gonna jump from gifted child to the noble, and then you need to jump to silly dweller, and then you need to jump to professional soldier. So
Wait, I
that's-
thought you couldn't jump from gift child to noble.
gifted child can't start in noble.
Oh, so am I wrong in jumping straight to page? Hold on.
Let me
Yeah, I
see.
don't think you can do that.
Yeah. No. Let me double check. Am I?
Because I don't think born life paths. Well, I guess
Yeah,
they
you
can
can
lead places.
Page from court, and that's one for
I
gifted
know.
child.
Gifted child leads to court.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
fine.
okay. Never mind. Yeah, totally.
Make sure that nothing's different.
Nope, you're yeah, it leads to outcast, court, and religious, and it can start in anything, so it can go pretty much anywhere.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, some of the like page in might be different from page in. And it is. Yeah, pages in the court don't get to learn etiquette.
Oh. I see.
And let me check.
Oh, John, you're doing the same thing that Logan did. You can just hit this, like, required box on the required ones.
Oh, yep, cool. That is what. Good. I'm trying to split my attention between
No, it's okay.
figuring out what the heck I'm doing at the time. Okay, so.
I definitely think I should take estate management as a general skill.
Yes.
Of course.
Because all of your
So
estates are going
useful.
to need managed.
All of my 0 estates.
You're so good at managing them.
Because there are none.
You can't
Are
lose
you
your
a little
estate if
cra-
you never had one in the first place.
Are you a little crazy?
Oh, me? I have to be.
Oh, you have to be?
Perfect.
Yes, I am a little crazy and disturbed at the same time.
It's not bad.
I read involuntary shudders as in shudders. I was like, what?
Oh. Wait, hold on. That. Okay, I can say that.
Ooh, okay, perfect.
Oh, you've got so much soothing platitudes.
I know.
That one's a fun one.
Ooh, and gossip.
Yep. Okay. I'll wait for everyone now.
You're gonna wait for a while. If there are steps that I can do without skills or traits, like we can move on to them.
No,
Skills and traits are the best
yeah,
part.
The best part.
They are, but think about how long you take. I take.
Just open all of them.
That's pretty much what I did.
You have 26 skill points? Holy crap.
Yeah, isn't it great?
What
That's
the
ridiculous.
hell?
I don't like that.
Big fan.
How? Where do you get them all? 11? Where do you get 11 from?
Student.
He gets
Oh
18.
my
No.
God.
Yeah, 11 from student, 6 from engineer, 7 from page. That's a lot. And
Yeah.
5 traits? Holy shit.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Ugh.
What is the
Okay,
difference between scavenging and foraging?
Ooh. That's
Scavenging's like from things that are dead. Foraging is from plants.
Scavenging, I think, is the better skill.
Probably, but
Let's see.
Please take weird, Sean.
as a thing, I think I'm
We-
gonna take angry.
Weird and yowling.
I need one more general skill, and I kind of want a wise, but I can't think of any good one.
Okay. Foraging. Using foraging, a character can gather enough roots, fruit, and greens from the land to feed himself in the times of austerity. Usually foraging is a day-long endeavor. Versus scavenging, you can use your scavenging skill, and you can state what you're looking for. It can be any type of item, but it cannot be a specific or unique thing.
Okay.
So you could be looking for, like, the under scavenging, there's like medicine, weapons, tools, money, antiques, documents, books, specialized tools, but you can't look for like the sword of Excalibur.
Right. Yeah, because I took foraging because I think that makes sense for her when she was like
No, I
exiled and
agree,
living on her
yeah.
own. And scavenging could also work. Like I could have both of them, but it doesn't seem. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not quite as interested in it.
Just gray shade astrology.
Now. Let's see. What do I have? So I've got astrology, aura reading, falsehood, farming, of course, folklore, which I hope I get to use at some point.
Yeah, that's cool.
Foraging, herbalism, mending, omen-wise, poisons, profanity-wise, which I'm very excited
Ooh.
about. Sing, sorcery, ugly truth, which is also just so
yeah,
much
the
fun.
best.
And then weaving.
Nice.
So I need one more. Yeah, I think I want a good wise. Of
Yeah,
something.
I think
don't
the wise
know.
would be good.
Witch wise, maybe?
Yeah. You can
Creepy
just
wise?
Creepy wise.
You just have a
Occult-wise?
knack for things that are creepy.
I don't know. I don't really see her as creepy though.
Angsty wise.
Did you say angsty? Yeah. Rage wise, anarchist wise.
You could just take like sorcery wise or something.
Sorcery wise. No, but see, I don't think she knows much about sorcery.
Okay.
I actually kind of like witch wise, even though I don't think it'll be very useful.
It's fun.
Do you have sorcery as a skill?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I can cast the magics.
Nice.
Wait,
to figure
do
that
we
out
need
later.
sorcery as a skill in
Yes.
order to cast magic?
Yes, otherwise you have to learn it, and it has to be taught to you.
Oh my god.
Logan thought he was done, but he is not.
This is
That makes me feel a
awful.
lot better.
I'm taking witch wise for sure. All right. Choice made.
Logan, just close like sleight of hand or something.
That
No,
is a
because
really good one.
it's not on my list.
Oh yeah. So you have to get rid of prostitute wise or intrigue wise.
Wait, sorcery only costs 1 point?
Yeah.
Oh, was I thinking gifted? It was
Yes.
like 5 point
Gifted
thing.
is
Okay.
very expensive.
Okay, this is not as bad as a disaster. But I really want prostitute wise and intrigue wise. God.
I'm so sorry you only have 2 general skill points.
It's awful. Why would anyone ever take gifted child and then not follow it up with sorcery? So you really only have 1 general point.
I know, that's the problem with that
Yeah.
path.
Ugh.
All right, I got 1 extra point to put into something.
Seduction.
No, it's main. It's a life path point.
Oh.
Fine, I'll take. Oh, I hate this.
Seduction, very tempting. Sleight of hand was also very tempting.
Let me check them.
Or what if I did, instead of witch wise, what if I did like fortune wise, like
Ooh,
fortune
yeah, I
telling
like
wise?
that.
Fortune. That makes more sense.
You know about
Yes.
other fortune tellers.
Or like the practice of telling fortunes,
Yeah.
like how it exists within this world.
Yeah, that's cool.
I like that a lot. Fortune telling.
I feel like your character was a normal little girl, or whatever, normal little person. And then, like, some fortune teller came to the village and was like, oh, you're magic. And then everyone was like, wow, you know what? You're right. This girl needs to be run out of town.
I think it was a little more dramatic than that, to be honest.
I got rid of prostitute wise, and I'm
Sad.
not happy about it.
I'm surprised you don't have seduction.
How does he not have that?
Big oversight, I might.
Big oversight.
Big oversight. How does prostitution not get seduction? That's a good
Yeah, it's
question.
a
Let
really
me-
good question.
I guess because you don't actually need to, they just come
Yeah,
to
I
you.
guess that's true.
Oh, I forgot to write it down, haggling. But I don't. Or do I want to take haggling?
It's pretty useful for a lot of stuff. But
I'll
it's up
take
to
haggling.
you. Alright, time to add a bunch of crap into this Roll20 sheet, because I've been using the...
Yeah, and now I can
Sorry,
see all
I'm
your
dead.
stuff. Woo!
Alright. So those top 3 are the required ones. Let's start going down the list.
Wait, so is haggling will or perception? Does
Let me
anyone know?
Haggling. Where is it? Will. It's Will.
It's will. Okay, perfect. Why? If prostitute did not get seduction, Ganymede should get seduction. Change my mind.
Well, I mean, I'm big into breaking rules, obviously, as shown by my life path, so I'm willing to say seduction makes sense as a life path.
I think yes.
Mm-hmm.
That way you don't have to use your very limited general pool
Yeah.
on it.
Great. Can I also have a bonus skill point?
No. That is the one exception I'm giving you.
John, you've spent all your skills.
Yeah.
You're
well,
so good at astrology.
I am.
What? That's mine.
Fine. No, I think I meant to put 2 in there, but we're gonna get that. I just wish I had more general points. Having 2 really sucks.
Yeah.
Don't we all?
Yeah, it's really bad. I want 5 or 10.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Can you open a skill with your general and then advance it with your regular? Or do
No.
You... No?
Huh.
No, it has to all be open.
Yeah, that blows.
It does.
I guess I could just leave source at not a.
I mean, 3 is
To
not
badge.
terrible. 3 you can do some basic spells easily.
Well, but that's and that requires all general points.
Plus, the lower it starts at, the faster it'll progress because it'll be easier to get challenging challenging rolls.
Yeah. Lower ones will progress fast. How do you do skills that have a root with 2?
Oh, you click the little box next to it, and then it expands, and you can choose a new one.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. All right, there we go.
John, you got so many extra stat points too. Oh my goodness.
This is not fair. I want to be
Wait,
a
double check.
stupid
Make sure
engineer.
he's not cheating us.
Yeah, double check me honestly.
No, I believe it. It makes.
I don't.
I don't.
Student skills 11. Oh my god.
Oh, hold on. Let me double check my page.
I mean, Logan, how much did you expect from Urchin Prostitute Ganymede?
Yeah, you kind of set yourself up a little bit with that one, I will say.
Which is not a bad thing.
Are you saying I shouldn't take prostitute?
No, I think it's great.
We don't have to be, yeah. We're not min-maxing, guys.
Maybe I'll take student. I was a student.
Yeah.
Ugh. But then I'd have to take rabble rouser. And then I'd have to learn how to read and write. I should already know.
No.
You can teach yourself how to read and write. It'll be fine.
Or do I not want to be an urchin? What does urchin get me? Not much, I would imagine. Not notoriously known for... But I want the story.
Man, Omen-wise is so good.
I'm really excited for this character.
Her skills are awesome.
I'm just gonna be so angry. Screaming ugly truths around, seeing the future, telling terrible fortunes for everyone.
Amazing.
No one is gonna like me, and I'm gonna be okay with it. Also, literally all my skills are like perception.
Yeah. You have 5 perception, though. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I bumped it up a bit, because it's used for a lot of stuff.
I'm changing... this is stupid. I'm changing... Wait. This might be a dumb question.
Yeah.
So 4 life paths, including the born. So we have
Yes.
3 additional. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Also, I do know how to lie, luckily.
I don't know any of those things, so that's really.
If we get into a fight, I think all of us are going to be really messed up, though.
I have brawling and sword fighting, I think. Did I?
Ooh,
Oh, nice.
okay, never mind.
I didn't take
What
brawling.
the
I
heck?
lied.
I have run away.
Swords, yeah. Maybe I take. Yeah, maybe.
All right, yeah, I think my skills are all set up. Now it's time to do
You
trade.
opened everything? That's awesome.
Who?
You did.
Me?
Yeah.
No, there's a couple that I... Oh, wait, am I supposed to list everything?
Oh, I mean, you can if you want.
I only listed the things that I opened.
Gotcha.
Because there's no point otherwise.
That's a lot of skills, though.
Yeah. I mean, how many are going to always come in handy? Like weaving? Who knows? But
just fork
like
weaving into everything.
Margareta did that in one.
Yeah, it's true.
in the stream, what?
No, when we played Curse of Strahd, John's character was a weaver monk.
I think she tried to weave in a stream once.
She got cursed to never weave again.
Okay.
My favorite thing that's ever happened.
That got removed. Freaking as.
No, Chubby Brook is my favorite thing.
I don't remember that one.
All right. So I definitely went Dreamer, so you can give me prophetic dreams.
Nice.
My lovely GM.
That's like my favorite thing ever, so.
Touch of the Ages 2, because I want to be able to see fun stuff.
Dreamer just a character trait?
I don't remember.
Let's see.
Yeah. No, Dreamer is a die trait, technically.
Ooh.
So is Touch of Ages. Does that mean I need to change the life path thing to special? No.
Oh, Dreamer, these visions are always relevant to the game at hand. Pretty good.
But I don't have to share them.
Yeah. What's your other... Oh, Touch of Ages.
Touch of Ages, I'm taking... then I have to take Gifted, which leaves me with only one more point, is the only thing. And that is a good question. What I want to take. The easy one is make up one and just have it be angry.
I mean, angry is a pretty good trait. You can just farm off of that.
This is pretty tempting. There's so many traits to look
Gifted
through,
costs
dude.
you 11?
What?
Is this
Cool.
yours? Yeah, this is yours.
Did I put in one twice? Ooh, my
Put
bad.
in negative 1.
What?
First of all, how can you even do that? And it does give me points.
Yeah, because it costs a negative amount.
I feel like that was an oversight on the making of this. That was me pressing the wrong stuff.
Gotcha. I was like, you have 13 trait points? Oh my goodness.
Amazing! I can get that stupid second sight one.
Yeah.
What does geometric mean as a
It's that you have a mathematical mind.
Ugh, hard pass. I'm just gonna
So
delete
you're
that
boring.
one off the list.
It gives you plus 1d to any skill that utilizes mathematics or measurements.
No. Hard pass.
What did you get what did you get geometric from?
I replaced urchin. I took urchin out, so now I'm a gifted child, prostitute Ganymede student.
Oh, I see.
Because
That
now
makes
I'm
sense.
at the university.
Yeah.
And I'd be really bad at being undercover if I didn't know how to read or write.
Yeah.
And I was not about to use my 2 general skills on read and...
So you've opened right, but you... Oh, okay, there you go.
I've added everything and done anything with.
Ooh, I could be crotchety.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Love that.
Ooh.
Wow, being a student has really boosted my ability to put points into soothing platitudes.
Diminutive hands. That sounds great.
You should take frippery.
Frippery?
Whatever
I
that
love-
means.
Isn't that like... I don't even know exactly what that means.
Gerbil brain? It's worth a consideration.
Ooh. Dusty. Yeah, dusty. Dour.
Grumbling is good.
Oh, yeah. No, I think she's loud, though.
Mm.
I think she wants everyone to know what she's thinking. Emotional? No, that could be...
Infallible religious logic.
Extra bitter. Ooh.
Oh, bitter is good.
Crotchety or extremely bitter?
Wait, so if something doesn't have a point cost and it's a trait, you just can't buy it?
Yep.
You can't get it.
I can't have the story anymore?
Nope.
Oh, no!
Unless we gift it to you from a trait call.
Yep.
A trait vote.
So I'll just have to make up a story. I'm really bad about making up stories.
That
Sounds
doesn't
like
sound
you won't get the story. But Logan, you could take love of the horse.
No, I hate horses.
Fear of cheese, fear of wet noises.
Yes.
Feral. Ooh, could be fun too.
Feral? I love it. Please take feral. You're a forest child. You have to be
I
feral.
think I might. That's really tempting, actually.
I got.
Can I be long-fingered?
No.
However, you can have
Oh,
remarkable
no, you should get
flatulence.
long tongue.
Long tongue. That'd be really
I
good
hate
for my
that.
profession.
Yes. I know.
Wait.
Intense hatred. Not for anyone in particular. It's just boiling there within me.
Gelid. What does gelid mean?
Oh, Sean, you should take Sleep Talker.
Oh.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Or gerbil brain.
No.
I already suggested Gerbil brain.
One of the
Where
worst.
you're actually just like a hamster's inside your head in character.
Temperamental is a really good one.
Temperamental? That could be a good one. Temperamental. What was I looking at?
Or, unrelenting
Guarded.
hatred.
Oh,
I need a
where's
bad.
that? Can I? Oh. Vitriolic. That's
I have
also
to
good.
take this one.
Vitriolic.
I just
What did you take, Logan?
complaining.
Nice.
I think I'm gonna do vitriolic. I feel like that feels very appropriate.
Yeah, that's really good.
It's just bitter and angry. 100%. Alright, so I'll add these into my... Alright. So... Oh, I can't decide. Do you think I should reduce a physical... I was thinking maybe of reducing power to raise. Agility. But I don't really need it for anything. Yeah, I'll just keep them.
Think of all the
Keep 'em.
weaving and mending you could do, though.
I know, but for weaving, you have to have probably you have to have tools and stuff. So, and I don't have the money for that.
Oh.
What is deaf? Deaf sounds like a bad trait, and it costs 4 points.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think for some of them that are like that, they cost so much so that if you do art magic and choose trait and you want to make them deaf, then it's really hard to do.
Hmm. I'm gonna be debauched.
All right. I mean, we already knew that.
Abby,
Yeah.
do you mind looking at my sheet and just
No,
double
not
check?
at all.
Please, Sean, please get rid of whatever trait you want, but you have eating.
Say that again?
I have. Wait, what?
You have to have
faded
eating maggots. Like you're just sitting there in the forest eating maggots.
No, I'm not taking that. I think that's like an orc trait too.
Probably.
No, I'm a forager. I lived off of the berries. I wish it would. Why does it not do some of this stuff for us?
Or can I take emotional? That sounds so fun.
That looks good, John.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and then we're all doing the attribute section together.
Yeah, I was just kind of doing a little bit of it.
Okay, I think I'm done with my traits and skills. I'll leave
We are
those there for
not doing corruption, right? Because I do not want it at all.
Yeah, we can
Why?
leave it out.
Whichever was the one that used the... That was fun, but I don't think that matters for magic.
You completely faded out.
Stellar. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I don't remember. Is it normal, like vanilla magic system that uses the? It's like the circle magic where if something goes wrong, you.
Sorcery, yeah, uses
Yeah.
it where you rotate. Art,
Okay, yeah.
Art magic doesn't use that.
Sad because I think that's just awesome.
It's pretty cool.
I love it.
Yeah, it's really good.
We could try and use it with it.
It wouldn't be the hardest thing in the world to like approximate which ones were which.
Yeah. Yeah. We can give it a look.
We can think about that. Maybe group chat about it before our next stream.
I figure we'll
Is everyone...
do attributes and then finish up for today. And then maybe do another, like, do the bits and, like, figure out everybody's, like, magic schools and stuff next session. And then do the first session after that. I don't know. Though.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Or if the bits don't take all that long, we can just start afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although, I need to know the bits so that I know what to write the story
It
on,
might
so.
be a good idea to do the bits, now.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Maybe.
If people know, I mean, they're like the most important part of your character, so.
Oh, geez, you're right.
Yeah, I would like to hold off if.
I don't mind holding off. We could do.
Okay.
I mean, I know, John, you wanted to move to like every other week, but if you wanted to do like a shorter session next week, and then we could do a 2-week break while I like prep stuff.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I could handle that if it were a shorter session.
Like an hour or something, just talking about bits.
Yeah. I get to have some assignments coming up soon, so that's super.
Oh, fine.
But yeah, that'll work out.
Okay, cool.
I do attributes first.
Yep.
Cool.
Is everybody ready for attributes?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
So, health questions.
Health questions?
Health questions. Does your character live in squalor and filth?
No.
No.
No, I don't think anybody. Oh, maybe!
Yes, for Sean.
I live in the forest.
I would not call that squalor and filth.
I would
Right.
call that. Yeah. Okay.
It's not filth.
Although the
Yeah,
the
it's
next
just
question
dirt.
is your character frail or sickly? Is probably a yes for Sean.
I'll say yes to frail.
Okay. So subtract 1 from your health.
All right.
Has anybody's characters been severely wounded in the past?
No.
I don't think so.
Have anybody been tortured or enslaved?
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
We can skip that one. Is anybody athletic and active?
No.
Okay.
Well,
Would mine be considered active because she would have had to fend for herself in the wilderness?
You could argue that, yeah.
Yeah, I think she would.
so
I think he would be active. He
Yeah,
wouldn't be athletic.
It wouldn't
Says
be
athletic
athletic.
and active.
And okay.
I think the direction I was going with mine was Paige. I feel like he has that background,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. If I'm saying that he has kept that up enough that his brawling and sword skills are active,
Right.
to me that says that's not something that he like picked up when he was 11 and then dropped when he was 15.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
Okay,
you can add
cool.
1 to your health.
Yay.
Does anybody live in a really clean and happy place like the hills and the sound of music?
No, but I would
Does
do
a
it.
brothel
live
meet
in a
those?
forest.
I don't think a brothel is clean and happy like the hills and the sound of
Dang.
music.
That might be squalor right there.
No, it's a
honestly.
nice brothel.
Oh.
It's the head of the prostitute guild's brothel, so.
Yeah.
that's
True.
He probably has the nicest mattress.
Yeah, I do. Thank you for noticing.
Okay, steel questions. Base starting steel is B3. Nobody's taken conscript, soldier, bandit, squire, or knight.
Sadly, no.
Nobody's ever been severely wounded. Has anybody ever murdered or killed with their own hands?
No.
No.
Okay.
I don't know. Like maybe if my mom was like, I could think of 2 situations. Maybe like a patron was like beating my mom up and I killed him.
Uh-huh.
Or if my mom was like, I want you to go off this guy. Like he's a threat.
Well,
I
you
thought-
have to decide.
Yeah.
You do have
I don't know.
seven.
I mean, does that sound like really out of character?
No.
No. I thought you were going to say, like, maybe a client.
Or none of that?
John went mute, but I can assume
Don't
what he
worry.
said.
Abby knows what I said, and I'm going to leave it at
I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah, okay.
I have.
Add 1 to your steel then.
Wait, no. If I've never done it more than once.
Oh, never done it more than yeah, you've just done it once. Nobody's been tortured, enslaved, or beaten terribly.
No.
Has anyone led a sheltered life free from violence and pain?
Yeah, I think my mom sheltered me.
You can't
Yeah, but
have
you were-
murdered and also...
I don't know why. Those are not compatible.
Yeah, you can't have killed someone and then be considered sheltered.
free from violence and pain.
Yeah, except for that one instance.
No.
Fine, whatever.
Did you just want to lower your steel?
I was trying to play in character, but I'll take the whatever.
Has anybody been raised in a competitive but non-violent culture? Sports, debate, strategy games, courting? John's muted, but...
Wait, nothing.
0. John,
We're
you
just gonna
seemed
change-
enthusiastic. Oh, I could hear you.
We're just going to change all the settings and turn everything off and on all the time. Hear me out. Competitive. He's an engineer.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Okay, cool. Stellar.
So you get an extra steal.
Yay.
Nobody's given birth to a child, I would assume. Although that could be interesting for
Well.
Witch Lady.
Mhm.
I don't know.
I feel like, yeah. How old are you at this point?
28.
Yeah, so you definitely could have.
But did people sleep with you while you were exiled?
That's a good
It
question.
was the
Bar
spirits
was
came
part of
in
my
there.
exile related to giving birth. I don't think so. No,
Okay.
I don't.
Everybody's gifted, so raise your seal by 1.
Cool.
Woo!
Does anybody have a perception of 6 or higher?
Mm-mm.
You know.
Does anybody have a will of 5 or higher?
Ah, no.
Nope.
No.
Does anybody have a fort of 6 or higher?
Nope.
Okay.
Cool. It calculates reflex. So, mortal wound is very complicated.
It does it for us. So
Yeah, no, but so you go from mortal wound and then you go up to like the top where it says character burner and you click combat. And then it goes to injury and recovery. So you should set your like tolerance on, if your mortal wound's 10, then you go to B10 and you set your tolerance there to M. And then you have to like split it up so then you have bruises, superficial, light, midi, and serious and traumatic.
Wait, I don't understand what you just
Hold
said. I don't know how. Oh, to M. Okay. Wait, to MR or just just M.
Just M.
And then where do you go?
And then after that, let me read it because I need to make sure that I know.
You click on BR and you can change it to.
Yep. And then your superficial, I think it should calculate for you.
No, nothing changed.
nope,
when
it didn't calculate anything.
Your superficial, let's see.
Oh,
I think it
well, my
says
health
somewhere.
is even worse
Oh,
than y'all.
It definitely says somewhere, but I don't know where. Let's see. I'll just read it in the book.
I've got it on one of this many PDFs. All right.
Oh, here we go. Superficial is half of your fort rounded down plus 1.
Oh, jeez. The 3?
Yeah, it's usually 3, I think, for everyone.
So you put that in the 3. And then you put light, midi, severe, and traumatic. They may be set apart by up to half your fort rounded up. So
Okay.
you want superficial, and then whatever half fort rounded up is, you want to separate light, and then midi, and then it'll probably go midi, serious, traumatic, mortal.
Wait,
Yeah.
where does light go?
Basically, just do it 2 after superficial.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then 2 more for... yeah.
So it's like, whose is this? This is John's. So then this will be superficial, light,
Oh, I see what's going on
midi,
here. Okay.
midi. Oh,
Okay,
midi,
I don't like that it
severe,
still says-
traumatic, mortal. And then these are
What does
all
Okay.
BR stand for?
Yeah, the BR is
Bruise.
really annoying.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like bruise should come between superficial and light, and then
so
also
you
after
fill
mortal.
with superficial up to light, and then fill with light up to midi.
Yeah, I see. So it's bruise. You should have 2 bruise, then 2 superficial, then 2 light.
Then
Then
midi,
midi,
serious,
severe,
And then
traumatic.
traumatic,
everything
mortal.
after 10 is.
Is just you're really dead.
Like, yeah, you should throw your character sheet in the trash because
I mean, Sean's already split there, but.
Oh.
Shut up! I'ma curse you.
Yep, so that's the mortal wound stuff. We don't have any emotional attributes, so that's great. And then...
Then it's resources, I think.
Yeah. I don't know.
Cool.
We can save resources for when we do bits, because that might make some sense.
Yeah.
I would like
People a
that.
week to think about what they want to spend it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What resources?
How many do you have?
Cool.
24.
I only have 30.
John has 47.
That's not that much more than. That's twice as much more than. Yeah. He did the time. He put in the work. He's earned it.
I did too. Do you know how hard it is being prostitute Ganymede?
I think you can just lay there.
I had to live in a forest.
Eating maggots off the floor.
Your life path was hard. I agree with that. My character will agree with that. Jeez.
Cool. So yeah, next week, I think if moving back to Wednesday is fine with everybody, I think we'll do that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yay.
But cool. I'll end
Yeah.
the stream, and then